What's happening, Gaming Outsiders? Zack Alyssa and I are answering video game-related questions again this month. In news, there's some big changes coming to the Tomb Raider film franchise and some heavy rumors about a game based on a particular superhero. You'll finally hear my impressions of the Steam Deck, which I received in the mail this week. Alyssa got a chance to play the adorable-looking Stray, and Kevin played an upcoming PC shooter called Scathe. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 408 of the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It is Sunday, July 31st. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zach Parkerson. What's up, man?
Oh, feels good. The pretty crew is here. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. The good-looking crew, the non-sunburned, non-ginger group of the podcast is here. Also joining us is Miss Alyssa White. You heard her giggles back there. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm pretty good. I'm old now, as you put on the format.
Yes, Alyssa is officially old. She has joined the ranks of old people. Happy birthday, Alyssa.
Thank you.
You have entered your third decade. Actually, if you think about it,
her dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s, yeah. If you think about it, you actually started your 30th year of your life on your 29th birthday. When you turn 29,
True.
you finish your 29th year.
Oh no, is this a life begins at conception argument? What's going on here?
No. She starts her 30th year. When you turn 30, you were 30 years old, but when you turn 29, you were starting your 30th year.
Right,
So
because your first year is your 0th year.
Yeah, your zeroth.
Zeroth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's start with the old lady and see what she's been playing. Alyssa, you got anything you've been playing this week, catching up on?
I have been playing something, but I think we're talking about it later.
Okay. We're going to talk about your new game later on.
Yeah.
Zach, just more Mass Effect, I assume?
That's right, man. Mass Effect 2 going hard on it. I got Morden
I'm so proud of you.
and Eris on my ship. Dude, it's infecting my very soul.
So I assume you're still going to jump into 3 right after?
Probably. I used to, like Mass Effect. Right now, obviously, I love it. I want it in my veins.
Mm-hmm.
But 3, I remember being pretty iffy on even back in the day. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, obviously, I will play it. It's just, I remember this character named Kai Lang. He's like this cyborg ninja assassin dude, and he was one of the most annoying edgelord characters I've ever seen in any game.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so weird in Mass Effect. I remember he sent you hate email in that game, where he's like, you might have beat me here, but it's only because, I let you escape because I'm here. I'm not here to just kill you, Shepard. I'm here to ruin your whole legacy. It's like,
wow.
All right. What? Where did you come? I don't even know you, man. I just met you.
This isn't 3 or this isn't 2?
This isn't 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I should just watch a YouTube playthrough of the story of that or something. I don't know.
3?
I had the new version though. I should just bite the bullet if I could stop.
Dude, especially
things.
Mass Effect 1 is so much better than it used to be.
Yeah?
It actually feels like a shooter now. Because remember, because it was still somewhat of an RPG originally, right? Your bullets were still dice rolls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But now it just kind of feels like a shooter, which is for the better for Mass Effect 1.
I still feel like the enemies don't react when you shoot them, though, right? Is that still a thing?
No.
Yes, that is 100% true.
It's basically you just shoot them and they fall over eventually.
Right. That's what I know it's an old game, but it took me a while to get used to in the little bit that I did play it, so. Well,
it's more frustrating. You can never tell when your shields are away.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that really tells you other than Shepard quietly going shields are down. It's about the only thing you get during a firefight.
Oh, really?
And it's just you'll be on near death before you're like, oh, I guess I was in trouble. I didn't even know it. All right.
Yeah. Maybe that's for the better. Maybe maybe you play differently if you just feel like you're just all in.
It's true. Yeah, I like playing as a Vanguard, which is they use biotic powers like telekinesis and stuff, but also specialize in shotgun. So I'm always just throwing myself in the fray, force pushing people against the wall before I shotgun to the dude to my left.
That sounds like you're playing like the way CB would play.
It's fun.
He's very much a tank.
They don't have stealth as an option, so I gotta do my other method.
Can you be a sniper? That's what I would want to do.
Yeah,
you shoot from afar.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah,
I'm usually a soldier when I play. Yeah.
I have been playing some more Vampire Survivors. I know you guys have heard me talk about that, but I've got a new toy to play PC games on, which I'll talk about in more detail later. But it's been a lot of fun to be able to just play that with a handheld console instead of pulling out the old MacBook and having to plug in a controller and sit there with the wired controller. And the cool thing is that my game actually, since it's all attached to Steam, my game save is transferable to the Steam Deck as well. So
what an elitist!
Yeah, actually, somebody on Facebook said, "Dude, you didn't post this correctly. If you don't post your specs and your all this kind of stuff, and tell everybody they're wrong for playing console games, then you're not really a PC gamer." I thought it was. I can't remember the way they worded it. It was pretty funny. But Vampire Survivors. It's been a few months since I've played that game, and they keep adding stuff to that game. It is really good. Technically, that game is still in early access, believe it or not. And they just keep adding stuff that really makes it not only quality of life, but new attacks and abilities. And seriously, Zach, this game is like $3.
I was gonna say, isn't it dirt cheap, right?
Yeah, it's well, if you have Game Pass, right? But you don't have Game Pass for PC.
Oh, I don't. I'm sure I do. I don't really know.
I think it's an extra. I think it's extra if you have the PC one. Isn't it like $15 a month? But then if you want the PC, it's like $10 a month. Or, I don't know.
I Game Pass share, so I'd have to check with my part. My
gotcha.
Partner.
Well, even if you just got to buy it, dude, it's like $3. It's not like, it's. I will give you $3 if you would like to play this game. I got Kevin hooked on it. He actually texted me and was cursing my name because he says it's the most addicting thing that he's played in a long time. It is, man, once you hit that point where you are just mowing through enemies, it just feels really, really good. And there's an in-game achievement system, which kind of, it's like a checklist. And I'm not doing it, for achievements like I do with the Xbox, but I'm treating it like just things to go for, because Vampire Survivors doesn't really have an objective other than survive. So these achievements act as like just kind of cool things to do that will unlock other characters and unlock extra gold, which will allow you to level up your character and stuff. So it's just kind of cool that there's new things being added to do to it all the time. And man, the music is really addicting too. I was working the other day and I had the music from the game stuck in my head while I was like painting or something. So that's cool. And then also, because I actually have the ability to play some PC games now, I have been trying to find some games that I never got to play in the past that I felt were important games, and I landed on Half-Life, which is a game I played a little bit back when I did have a PC laptop, but I was forced to use a mouse and keyboard, and I learned very quickly that I am not adept at all at playing a first-person shooter with a mouse and keyboard, especially when it comes to platforming. So now that I can actually use a joystick and buttons, I wanted to see what this game was about. And boy, that game feels like a Valve game. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like when you play Portal, like the jumping in Portal has a very familiar gravity to it.
Right,
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, they're both in the Source engine, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. So platforming is not fun in that game. It is. It's very slippery, so it takes some real getting used to. But
now, are you playing Half-Life, or are you playing Black Mesa, the Valve authorized Half-Life remake?
It is a remake, but it's not Black Mesa. It's called something like, I think it's called Half-Life Source or something like that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think that was when Valve remade Half-Life in the Half-Life 2 Source engine.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so.
So I'm playing at that. It looks pretty good. I mean, obviously it's an aged game, but it feels somewhat ahead of its time for when did that come out? Like 97, 98, something like that?
90, yeah, I think 97. I think it was one of the, I could be wrong, but I thought it was one of the great year of 97 releases.
Yeah.
I know my uncle got it on PS2 and played it.
Yeah, that's where I played it too.
That would have been Half-Life 2 though, right? This was only on PC, right?
He had Half-Life, the first one.
Yeah, they ported
PS2.
They ported the, yep.
Oh, I did not know that.
And they added a co-op campaign to it.
Now I feel real dumb because I could have actually played this when I was younger, and I thought I had to have a PC. So,
well, I loved it there, but everyone said it was a terrible port. But PC gamers always say that when their exclusives get ported. So
that's true. That's true.
Who to trust? Yeah, I bought it at a garage sale for like $5.
Oh, really? Nice. The NPCs crack me up in this game. They just do random things. I wish I knew how to record video on my Steam Deck because they just. I had this one guy you have to have this one guy follow you to like hit a switch for you
Is it Barney?
No, he's just a random one. Like it's very, very early on in the game. I haven't met Barney yet, I don't think. Or if I have, I did not catch that's what his name was. But, they're programmed to say things like, scream in terror or whatever. And I just sat there and stared at him once because he just started making these noises without anything happening. He's just standing there. You know how they make their mouths move? And he's like, ah, no. And his mouth is going, but he's just standing there like, obviously it's an older game, but I don't know. I haven't gotten to what makes that game super cool. Is it a gravity gun that everybody raved about? I don't remember. Is this the game that has a gravity gun, or there's some weapon?
Second one.
Yeah, I was thinking that was exclusive to the second.
Oh, okay.
I think the first one was just a big deal at the time because it was, more puzzle oriented kind of first person shooter.
I haven't really come across any puzzles.
And it told a cool sci-fi story. I don't know. Yeah, I guess Half-Life 2 is the one that's remembered more for changing the industry. But the first one's still pretty great, except for the the last level is pretty bad, but otherwise
pretty bad as in it's difficult, or
well, if you don't like the platforming now,
oh great,
I wouldn't get too excited about the last level.
Awesome. I honestly don't know if I'm going to play through it. I just wanted to be able to say that I played Half-Life before I died, so that was that. Which brings me to my next game, which is the original Fallout, another game I've never played. And I'll get into reasons why later, but that is not designed to be played on the Steam Deck. Let me tell you that. So unfortunately, I need to wait until I can actually get a proper mouse and keyboard, because I think that one is playable on Mac. I could be wrong. I think that one's playable on Mac, but it was really fun to go back to this, like the original game, because the only experience with Fallout I have are Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas. And seeing kind of like the origins of the vaults and the special and the Vault Boy and the Please Stand By and all that was like actually in this game from, I think it was 98, and seeing just kind of how it all started. And I felt somewhat equipped with what to do in terms of stats because I had used those stats in previous Fallout games. So I don't know. Going backwards with a series is always interesting to actually see where its roots come from. If I had played this game when I was older, or when I was younger, and then going into Fallout 3 would have been like really cool because the transition seemed very, very similar. So that was cool.
I assume it's terrible to play because you don't actually move your character, right? You point and click where they go.
It's point and click, and unfortunately, pointing and clicking, doing anything with a mouse is doable, but very, very difficult on the Steam Deck. I'll get into reasons why later, but yeah, that thing is definitely designed more for using joysticks and buttons and triggers, but
and you're good with your joystick. There's no question.
I've had no complaints. I tell you what, I did not play. I purchased because it was on sale from I think it was GOG or one of those. One of the LucasArts collections, because I loved those point and click adventure games when I was a kid, and I got one that had the 2 Indiana Jones games, Loom and The Dig. For like $3. I was like, I have to play these games, and the thing said that it was compatible on a Mac, and I installed them and went to play them, and they are not compatible on a Mac. So, unfortunately, with being a mouse, it's not going to work on the Steam Deck either, so I don't know what I'm going to do to play those games I bought, but I've got them for someday when I want to play those games. Part of me wants to emulate them, because I've bought them. I've paid for them legally. You know what I mean? So if I download it now and play it on an emulator for a PC game, is that okay?
I would say so.
Yeah, I think, yeah. In the moral gray area that emulation lives in, that seems okay to me.
I mean, I want to pay to play these games. I just you know what I mean? It's not like I'm trying to steal them.
That's where most emulation comes from. Is like, if you would let me pay for your game, I would.
Yeah. Especially with some older stuff. If it didn't cost $2,500 for a cartridge copy of your game, then I would definitely, buy one. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully I can report back sometime in the future, because I would love to go back. I've played the Indiana Jones one that is based on the what was it? The Holy Grail one, Last Crusade.
Last Crusade.
I played the one based on Last Crusade, but I've not played Fate of Atlantis. I've not played Loom. Always wanted to, because when you play Secret of Monkey Island, there's a pirate that's wearing a button that says, "Ask me about Loom." and you ask him about Loom, and he goes into the sales pitch about another LucasArts game, which I always thought was really funny when I was a kid, but I never played Loom. And then the dig was one I had a demo for, but it was such a short demo. They did such a good job of like teasing you about the intrigue of that game, and I never got to play it, so I've always wanted to do it. So hopefully I can play that in the future, but stay tuned for that. So we got a lot to talk about, though, so let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, couple things to talk about this week. First off, a rumor suggests that we could be getting a Black Panther game. There are some big changes coming to the Tomb Raider film franchise. The KOTOR remake has been put on hold indefinitely. And also this past week, Annapurna had their games showcase. So quite a few things to talk about. Alyssa, what would you like to talk about?
I gotta talk about Tomb Raider film because I love Tomb Raider, the games. I like the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Alicia Vikander did a really good job as Lara Croft, and she will no longer be attached to the film if anyone buys it now, because MGM lost the rights.
Yep.
So that's a bummer.
That is a huge bummer, because I really liked Vikander in the role, and that's the first one we've had in a while, right, Zach? Where it was like, I guess Uncharted was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked Uncharted.
You're talking about video game movies, or
yeah, video game movies. Like we've got Tomb Raider, we've got Uncharted, and Silent Hill, and I feel like that's it.
Oh, in terms of good ones,
yeah.
I still think Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is good. Just miscast.
I like that one as well. Yeah.
I did not. I could not get over them having British accents.
They do in the game, though. That's what always cracked me up about people's complaints of the movie.
Oh, see, I've never played the games, but it took me out of it bothered me from a movie standpoint, I guess. But if they did that for I didn't know that about the game. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Yuri Lowenthal uses a British accent. It's a white dude using a European accent to voice a Persian character.
Yeah. Very crazy. And Jake Gyllenhaal. Like when you were a kid, would you say someday they're going to make a movie with Donnie Darko playing this character?
No.
That would have been crazy. So, yeah. Anyway, Vikander did say that the sequel, under MGM was in limbo because of, quote, politics. I assume that doesn't mean like governmental politics, but, just all kinds of dissension among the ranks there. And if the franchise is purchased by another studio, the next film would just be a complete reboot. So we'd basically be starting all over again. Which is frustrating. I feel like the last one, although I haven't seen the last one since it was in the theater. I feel like I'm due for a rewatch because I really liked it, but I want to go back and rewatch it. And then obviously, no word yet as to who would replace Vikander. Zach, I feel like you're one of the biggest Tomb Raider fans I know. Who would you like to see cast? Anything come to mind? Anyone come to mind?
Oh no, I mean I think I would want an unknown, but I don't know if that's allowed anymore in this day and age.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you always have to have a name. No, I mean I don't know. Yeah, I also liked Vikander, absolutely. But I'm more worried about the next game than I am the next movie. I do think it's like another reboot. When was the last time we saw Lara Croft in her prime? 2008.
Let's see.
I guess probably. Because that was Tomb Raider Underworld. That was the last one before the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the last time we saw Lara Croft, seasoned adventurer was then.
So we're going to get like a Metal Gear Solid 4 version of Tomb Raider where she's just aged and, still Tomb Raiding.
Well, I mean, that would be interesting. Old, right? I just mean like, it feels... What? Yeah, 4 was already old. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were looking at me funny, like I had the wrong game.
No, yeah, old Snake. Yeah, no, I just didn't understand how we got there. That's all. Did you see also stuff about the next game leak? So it's been kind of been a big day for Tomb Raider.
The next Tomb Raider game was leaked?
Or parts of the stories, or 2 script pages, I think.
Oh, I did not hear this.
For their casting, yeah. Well, that's probably because it was leaked out of Howlin' Moriarty's stuff, and other websites don't report that stuff for actual politics reasons.
Right.
Yeah, apparently, there's Crystal Dynamics call sheet where they're looking for a new Lara Croft. They want somebody authentically British, they say, and she's going to be in her mid-30s in the next game, and it will be her seasoned adventure, and it'll be her having to learn to work with other Tomb Raiders, apparently.
Does that mean it's going to be a multiplayer game?
That was my concern as well.
Oh, I don't want that.
I don't know if it's that or she's just globetrotting and she just meets up with a different archaeologist in every country or something.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Mm-hmm.
But, So anyway, Tomb Raider progress, I guess, is happening.
Yeah, so things are happening for sure. Zach, what story would you like to talk about the ones remaining?
I think KOTOR remake being put on hold is definitely an interesting one. It kind of reminds me of the Final Fantasy VII remake thing, where we're never going to get this game.
Yeah,
yeah, indefinitely.
Right, and apparently, because Aspyr, who is just a port studio, right? They've only they've done a lot of Star Wars ports, but this would have been their first real chance at bat to make a real game.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, some stuff happened with the studio. LucasArts was unhappy with the demo they were shown, and I think it was Jason Schreier reported this, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a big report out of Bloomberg, and where it is that it might get handed off to Saber Interactive, but for right now, yeah, it's just on hold indefinitely.
And who knows what that means?
Right, and I think his sources said the early assessment for the game's release would be fall 2025, probably.
Man, that seems so long ago. That seems so long away.
3 years.
Right, which is a shame because Aspyr, when this stuff was leaking before the game got announced, all the leaks were like, yeah, winter 2022 probably. So it's just quite a delay there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm in a hurry. When I'm so used to games being delayed at this point, I just almost expect it with every title that we get. Especially when it's first announced and they give us a target date, even if it's a quarter of a year, or if they do actually give an actual release date, I just in my mind go, that's not going to happen. It's just not, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I know a lot of people get upset when their games they're really looking forward to are delayed, but I got plenty to play. So it doesn't bother me, and I'm on the camp of people that would rather let it bake in the oven for a little bit and give us what they want to give us instead of just get a quick cash grab using the Star Wars name.
Well, honestly, and if the stuff, and I always take any leaks and rumors with grains of salt, but if the stuff that all the Disney Star Wars or all the Star Wars leakers were saying was true about this game, I don't know if I really wanted this remake anyway, in terms of they're apparently punching up the script with a bunch of more modern style jokes and changing some genders here and there of characters and stuff, which to me is just like, well, now it's not a remake. Now it's a reboot.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely don't need Marvelized humor in this game, that's for sure.
So you're gonna do modern humor, like there's gonna be a Chrissy Wake Up reference or something like that?
Oh, now that song's in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand what's happening.
There's
Chrissy
a song they made from the Chrissy Wake Up thing from Stranger Things.
Oh, I don't watch Stranger Things. I apologize.
Okay.
I don't understand that reference. I was thinking more of this the Marvel well, I guess that just happened. Whoa, kind of stuff.
I love that line.
I love it when Zach delivers it.
Thank you.
Captain America, America's ass. That was from that movie, right?
That was,
yeah. Well, just because I know it's going to annoy the crap out of Zach, I'm still going to mention this Black Panther thing.
See, speaking of leaks and rumors, yeah. I guess, okay, let me just, all right. All the leaks and rumors is just annoying to me because, when I took journalism school, not that many years ago, they talked about how a he said article doesn't count as journalism.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's all journalism is.
Sure feels like
this person says this thing on Twitter. This person said this thing in their podcast. Can you believe what this person said on Reddit? That's all journalism is now. And it's not journalism. Your job as the journalist is supposed to be like, well, they tweeted this. Let me check with sources I might have, and actually corroborate this. But no, it's always just, well, I mean, if Jeff Grubb says it, I guess it's just rock solid gold. and then they do that because then if it does turn out to be wrong, they'll be like, well, we didn't say it. It was Jeff Grubb who said it.
Right.
We're just here to tell you what he said.
I mean, to be fair, we don't have any sources. We're literally regurgitating what everybody else has collected, right?
Of course, yeah, but I do expect journalism out of journalists.
That's the goal.
Right, there you go.
Growth mindset, man.
we have like one source,
one or
maybe two. Yeah,
maybe two and a half.
Provide us with not substantial information because they actually care about their jobs.
Yeah, there's been sometimes I've been given information that I wasn't allowed to talk about, and you had to make sure we had that trust. So
right, yeah,
but yeah, definitely don't want to burn any bridges. But yeah, anyway. So yes, Jeff Grubb over at Giant Bomb started this rumor, and like Zach mentioned, everyone just kind of believes what this guy says. I don't know him really well. I remember seeing his name a couple times when rumors like this would come up in the past before he was with Giant Bomb, and I never really understood because he's right sometimes, but he's also wrong often.
Right. Well, and then like sometimes he makes predictions that are so broad that they'll like inevitably be true. Like he cited as the source for like, Xbox is going to get rid of gold and just go all in on Game Pass, which, yeah, man, anybody could have seen that coming.
Right.
That is an inevitability.
Right.
So that people go like, well, he says it's going to happen. But now, yeah, it's just a lot of vague stuff.
So according to his sources,
stuff right.
A new Black Panther game is going to be produced by EA, but developed by a new Seattle studio that is helmed by former Monolith leaders. Will be an open-world game. Takes place after the death of Black Panther. Players will not be creating their own character, but play as a new character, taking up the mantle. And this is supposed to be a multi-platform game, not exclusive to PlayStation or Xbox or any other platform. Again, this is all rumor. This is not confirmed, but I still thought it was worth talking about. Is this... my immediate reaction when I saw this was, why does it have to be open world? And I have to believe that Zach feels the same way, but is that a correct assumption, Zach?
Yeah, to me, I would want it more of Wakanda is the hub, and as you go out and you spoke out into different, dungeon-esque areas around Wakanda, you could, maybe you earn something new for your suit that lets you then explore more of Wakanda. I think that would be the... Yeah, a little. Yes, yeah. I guess that is a little gear-gated. I guess a little Arkham-ish in that way. Mm-hmm. But I think that would be the coolest way to do it because then you can explore more of the city over time. And if you are this new Black Panther, maybe you don't know Wakanda as much, so you kind of have to earn your way into areas or something like that. That could be interesting. And I think, I think that idea has a lot of potential. If it is just the climb some towers so your Wakandan satellite can get updated telemetry of the area.
Because they don't have the technology to have like a drone do that or something. They actually have to send them human to go climb that tower.
That'd be a little silly. But that's me. What do you feel about an open world Black Panther game, Alyssa?
I think I agree with you. I don't know if I'd really want an open world Black Panther game. I'd prefer it to either be fairly linear or, like you said, have this Wakanda as the hub and then go to other areas and then just make your way through.
For me, the game doesn't even have to be a hub and spoke. Just give me a straight linear experience. When's the last time we got a game like that?
No, I do love linear. I'm an advocate for linear games on here. I just think the idea of like Wakanda as a focal point, but you go out into the jungles for these little missions and come back and see more of the city just sounds super cool. Mm-hmm. The fear with an open world game is like, why would I want to be anywhere in the jungle, like open world exploring, if it's not Wakanda?
Right. Like Wakanda is the thing you want to look at, right?
That's the appeal, absolutely.
And it's going to be like, go get 50 pieces of vibranium.
Right. And I need to sharpen the claws of my suit. I hope I can get enough vibranium.
Right.
And because it's open world, he'll be talking to himself, saying like, oh, man, I wish I had more vibranium.
Pretty much what it'll be. I don't want that.
But, I will say a lot of people seem worried about this whole like the Black Panther dead. Who's this new character? Well, I mean, like that's how T'Challa becomes Black Panther, right? His dad dies and he becomes Black Panther. Like it doesn't. Yeah. It seems perfectly reasonable. You could be T'Challa. Mm-hmm. You could even be T'Challa in My Way, where like he left and his dad comes back. Now he's going to come back to the city, and that's why you have to learn the city.
Right.
So I don't know. I think playing a video game where you play as T'Challa would be cool.
I agree, but I would just like wasn't that. What was the Star Wars game? Force Unleashed?
Uh-huh.
Is that what it's called? The one with the backwards saber guy?
Yeah, Starkiller.
Starkiller, thank you. Like that game was just straight up linear. You just went through levels, right?
No, hey, or the Wolverine game or whatever. Wolverine. Yeah, no, there's plenty of I would love like a linear Blade game or something.
I can't even think of the last game, not even licensed game that we had that was like that. Like a third person, go through the level and just play the game and enjoy and play, get through a level, beat a boss, watch a cutscene. I can't remember the last one that we had. Obviously, I have not played every single game.
Say a Plague Tale is the only one I can think of.
That's a good point. Plague Tale, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty straight path.
I need to go back.
But then the sequel looks like it's going to be more open already. So
right, it's like I don't know, man. Who is asking for like just bigger, grander, open world games? There's got to be more people than just the three of us or four of us if we include CB that are just okay with a good 8 to 12 hour experience. Don't get me wrong. I like longer games. I still like Assassin's Creed. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't have the time to play them and conquer them the way that I want to.
I mean, I like longer games too if they, warrant the length, but they so rarely don't.
Right. It's a lot
so
of
often it is just find the 50 pieces of vibranium if you want to level up.
Pretty
That's
much.
what so many of them are.
Pretty much. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and move on. I want to remind everybody about our Patreon page. If you'd like to help support the show, maybe get some bonus content, head over to patreon.com/thegocast, and there you'll have access to all of our bonus episodes if you do sign up. If you're at the $3 tier, you get one bonus episode each month. $5 tier, you do get 2 bonus episodes each month. We are behind for the month of July, so we still owe you guys an extra episode for our $5 tier members. We apologize. Things have been very, very crazy, and it's been hard to coordinate people to get together for bonus episodes. But we will make that up in the month of August with 3 episodes. So stay tuned for that. Again, we really do appreciate the help because it does help pay for the show and help us to do giveaways, which reminds me, I owe you guys a giveaway too. I will be putting together an article this week. We are giving away a copy of The Quarry on Xbox One, so make sure you stay tuned to the socials where I will put a link there and an entry form for you to be able to enter. And then whatever game we're going to give away for the month of August. Haven't even decided what game that's going to be, so there will actually be 2 drawings coming up for the month. And then again, Patreon subscribers do get an extra entry or 2 or 3 based on how many dollars that they contribute. So stay tuned for that. Again, patreon.com/thegocast. Let's go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, this list looks nice and short this week. What is coming out that we could check out new on the horizon?
Horror game, The Mortuary Assistant, comes to PC August 2nd. PS1 inspired retro platformer Frog Gun comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC August 7th. South of the Circle is a like an interactive story looking kind of game coming to PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC August 3rd. Sword and Fairy Together Forever is a Chinese developed game making its way over here, coming to PS5 and PS4 August 4th. Gale of Windoria makes its way to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One and PC August 4th. Hard West 2, which is like XCOM of the Old West, comes to PC August 4th. Turbo Golf Racing, which is just straight up Rocket League, but with golf, coming to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One and PC August 4th. And then Recipe for Disaster makes its way to PC August 5th. Are you guys gonna skip this week like me, or?
Yeah, pretty much. I will say that Turbo Golf Racing, I think that's on Game Pass, right? Is that a Game Pass one?
I don't know.
If it's a Game Pass one, I'm very thankful because that's one that I feel like I'm going to play once or twice just to get a feel for it and then never touch it again. Not anything against the game. That's just a personal thing for me. But if I had to play one, probably The Mortuary Assistant. I like me some horror games, and there's some genuinely disturbing stuff going on in that trailer that you can do to these cadavers.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems like they might be pushing the envelope. So if I had to pick one, that'd probably be that one. How about you, Alyssa?
I won't be playing any of these this week, but South of the Circle just kind of screams this is an Alyssa game.
Yeah.
So maybe one day if it's on Game Pass or something, I'll play it. And also, again, The Mortuary Assistant. I like horror, and this trailer is pretty creepy. And again, like I played... Why am I blanking on the name of the game I played earlier this year? Martha is Dead.
There you go.
The disturbing content. I'm drawn to it for some reason, so maybe eventually I'll play those 2 games.
I think Sword and Fairy Together Forever looks really cool.
That one did look cool as well.
It reminded me of that Zhuan Yuan Sword 7 game I played last year. That was also a Chinese action adventure game. That was fairly linear. There you go, Scott. You want to play some Chinese imports?
I mean, the game just looked like just. If you had told me that was a Final Fantasy game, I probably would have believed you. You know,
oh, yeah?
I don't know. It just felt like another hack and slash RPG with numbers popping out. And I don't mean that to disparage Final Fantasy games, but because newer Final Fantasy games look more polished than this trailer did. I don't know. It just didn't do a ton for me.
Fair enough. But yeah, Sword and Fairy I think looks neat, but I don't know. I got Live Alive to crack open here shortly.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that one.
But Steam Deck McGee over here, elitist, super rich Scott Clark.
Super rich Scott Clark.
Did Gabe swing by your house to deliver this one?
He did not. I was kind of hoping it was. Unfortunately, it was just a FedEx guy. But he kind of looked like Gabe, I guess.
Did you look at him and he's like, "You're not Gabe Newell"?
No, actually,
who's that?
I'm totally lying. I actually wasn't even home when I got it. I was, but I have a Ring doorbell, and I got a little notification when he arrived. So I was like, "Hey,
Scott,
my Steam Deck showed up."
Further cementing how wealthy he is with his fancy doorbells.
Yeah, dude, I tell you, that thing is coming in handy. Although it's really annoying when I mow the lawn. Every time I walk past it, every time I mow my front lawn, I get a notification. Someone's at your front door. Someone's at your front door. It's kind of annoying. Yes, I did pick up a Steam Deck, and actually...
Oh, just for the people at home, he's reaching back.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
He's holding
I wanted you guys to see it, because this thing is massive. It is...
Yeah, it's a big boy.
It's literally...
Scott is now licking it. It's getting out of hand.
My name is Jessica Chobot, and I will be licking my... No, not exaggerating. You can't tell this from looking at the video, but this thing is as wide as my laptop. It is.
Okay, so it's bigger. So it's bigger than a Switch.
Much bigger than a Switch. The screen alone is bigger than a Switch. I wish I had the Switch down here that I could show you. I'm trying to think of something I could use for reference, but
I understand it's big. It's big.
It is.
Stop showing me big things on camera.
Yeah, I wanted to show you guys. So anyway, the first thing I noticed about this Steam Deck is it is entirely more comfortable than holding a Switch. I don't know how long you guys play a Switch at one time, but I find that when I play a Switch, eventually one of my hands starts falling asleep, and I have to kind of readjust or rest one side on my palm so that the blood flows back to my fingers. It's very...
Are you laying on your back in this scenario?
Yeah, probably. Okay. But not all. But sometimes not. I mean, even if I'm just sitting up, it's the same way. But I have not had that problem with this one, and I think that the reason is that with the Steam Deck, you can actually reach around behind it, so you're actually gripping the back with your fingers. So instead of just holding a flat surface like you do on a Switch, I can actually reach around like I do with a controller, and I think that's really cool. Also, there are you get your triggers L1, L2, R1, R2. But then on the back, there are ones for your fingers behind the controller. So you actually have an L4 and an L5 and an R4 and an R5. So you actually have just so many different buttons that you can just map whatever you want to. And then there are also these pads on the left side and on the right side here that act as track pads. You can use it that's what you can do with the mouse. So earlier when I told you I was trying to play Fallout, because you have to use a mouse in that game. I don't know if either of you have played the original Fallout, but you have to get the mouse directly on those radio buttons. It's not like newer games where they let you highlight the entire menu bar. You have to get just that tiny little, which is easy with the mouse, right? No big deal. Right. But when you have to draw with your finger ever so slightly, it makes it very, very difficult. So yeah, but obviously this was not designed for you to play mouse and keyboard games, right? This was designed for you to use two sticks and the buttons and the triggers.
But it's still nice that they let you try.
Yes.
They let you try.
I mean, there are 3 different classifications of games I'm learning on Steam. You've got ones that are 100% compatible. You've got ones that will play, but may not function the way that you want them to. And then there are ones that just will not even boot up. Fallout was one of those that fell in that middle category. So I can boot it up and I can play it, but it was not a good time. So I'm looking forward to actually getting a mouse for that one. So yeah, it's heavy. It's got some weight to it, but it also doesn't feel like I'm going to break it. You know, I mean, I never really feel that way with the Switch as well. Even the Switch Lite, it still feels sturdy. It comes with a fantastic case. You know, like when you buy a Switch, you don't get a case with it. You got to go buy your whatever case you want, right?
Yeah.
This one comes with a beefy case, like a nice clamshell type case. It's got good cushions in it. A little thing that you put behind the Steam Deck so that you can pull it out of there without having to grip the sides. It's a massive case, so I really like it. I am really liking it. The problem I'm having is I don't know where to start because I feel like I have been hampered for so long by the lack of PC, or by the fact that I've only had a Mac. I really want to test this thing's limitations, but I don't know where to start. Now, I don't want to go drop $60 on Final Fantasy VII when I already have that on PlayStation. You know what I mean? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
What about Cyberpunk? Would that be a good test?
I have Cyberpunk on Xbox. I mean, like, you know, that's... I guess what I'm looking for is something to push it that's not brand new, or I guess Cyberpunk would probably still be cheap, but Cyberpunk would really push it, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I guess you want something that's PC only, right?
Right. I want something that I can only play on PC that's going to really kind of show off this thing. So I'm looking for suggestions from any other Steam Deck users or just PC players in general that could be like, hey, this, you want to know how this game is going to run on the Steam Deck before you maybe think about purchasing it. I want something that's going to push its limits, but also be fun to play. So I'd be open for some suggestions there from the community for sure. I did play the Aperture Science desk job, which is somebody else had recommended it to me after I loaded it, and it was a game that can only be played on the Steam Deck. You actually can't play this game on PC without a controller because of the things that you're doing in this game. It is not a Portal game. They weren't selling it like that, to be fair. But I think some people saw the Aperture Science thing and hearing Cave Johnson's voice again, were hoping that it was another Portal game, but it's just it's in the Portal universe, and it's exactly what it sounds. It's a desk job, but it's got that Portal humor to it. There's a new little character that looks like Wheatley, but he's brand new, and he basically tells you what your job is, and your job starts out as these machines pop by on a conveyor belt, and your job is to test them. It's basically a tech demo to show off everything that you can do with the Steam Deck, but it's fun. I mean, it's very, very simplistic. It's not hard, but it teaches you how to use the Steam Deck. For instance,
did you find yourself doing what you must because you can?
That's a Cave Johnson line, isn't it?
Well, it's from the song in the first Portal. We do what we must because we can.
Oh.
All right, whatever.
Did not catch the reference. Sorry.
All right, I'll just walk off this podcast.
Sorry, I ruined your
tough
joke,
audience. Man. Yeah.
No,
there's gonna be somebody. There's gonna be a big Portal fan who's gonna laugh at that one. Okay.
I know.
I appreciated it.
All right.
I just didn't want to become broken again and have uncontrollable laughter.
And I just beat both of those games. I don't remember that one line. That's how bad I am. But anyway, the game teaches you how to use all the triggers, which obviously you just press the buttons, but it's almost like a reminder that, hey, these things are there. But then I didn't even know this thing has gyroscopic controls, which is really cool. So the way that the gyros works on this one is you actually, I can't remember how to do it because I was just doing it right before we hopped on. In order to activate the gyro controls, you actually press one of the left bumper button, basically. And then you actually also have to just put your thumb on the right stick. You don't have to move this stick, but it actually senses if your thumb is just on it, even if you're not moving it or clicking it. And then once you have both of those things, then you can just aim wherever you want to, which I thought was really cool. I haven't used that in the game outside of this, but like I said, the game teaches you how to do that. I learned that the touchscreen works like you can draw on it, which seems kind of silly that it wouldn't, but I didn't know. There's actually a thing in the game where you have to sign up for the job. So you have to state your name. So you record your name, and then it says, this contract belongs to, and then I hear my own voice say Scott Clark. And then I actually sign my signature, and So I don't know. It was just kind of a
it kind of reminds me of playing Tearaway on the Vita.
yeah. I could see that.
You're gonna do the same kind of stuff.
I would imagine
they would take your picture, and then you were the sun in the game and stuff like that.
Oh, that makes me think of Teletubbies.
Oh no, yeah, I guess that's true. It all comes back to Teletubbies.
But if you like the humor of Portal and you have a Steam Deck, it's free. It's worth the like half an hour to go through this game. It's pretty funny, but it does a really good job of teaching you how to use this thing too, which is cool. Teaches you how to take screenshots, like of the game. Like it's a weird combination of like the Steam button and like the right trigger or something like that. So like if I want to take a screenshot of a game, I just do that. It saves the picture. I don't know. I kind of wish like PS5 did that, right? With the Astrobots thing, where they taught you about like the haptic feedback and stuff like that, or they
Yeah.
I think that's something that they should do in the future. You know, like back in the day, they would just give you a game packed in, right? Like you get Super Mario Brothers with your Nintendo, or Super Mario World, or whatever. You just get a full on game, but you know, put something together like this would be pretty cool. So yes, I am digging the Steam Deck. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I should be regretting my purchase because it is a pretty pricey piece of hardware here.
How much was it?
With tax, it was about $560.
Okay.
And you got the one in the middle.
The mid tier, the 256 gigabyte, which I feel silly. I should have just gone for the lower tier one. Like, why do I need that much space? You know, especially because you can put a disc in it if you need to. You know what I mean? You can get a memory card. You can tell I'm old. I just said I'm going to put a disc in.
You can put a disc in? That's cool.
A little floppy, you know. I mean, I could probably fit a floppy disk in this thing, honestly. Like even the 5.5 ones, I probably could fit in there, but it's huge. So, yeah, very comfortable. But I am looking to test its limits. So please, either on Facebook, Discord, or Twitter, when you hear this episode, post me a comment and give me some recommendations of some games, even older ones that, like I talked about Half-Life earlier. I've never played Half-Life and started that. If there are some must-play PC games that do not involve a mouse and keyboard, please let me know, because I would like to kind of push this thing a little bit and play some more PC games. It is really cool, Zach, because you know we get so many press kits or not press kits, but press releases and emails stuff about PC games, and I'm always like sharing them with our writing crew. But I can never really partake, and now I'm kind of looking at them with renewed interest. Like,
oh yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah,
I can probably play that game now, but they also don't necessarily tell you if it's Steam Deck verified. So sometimes I could be like, sure, I'll take it and see if it works. You know what I mean?
Right, but I mean, how complicated could most of those indie games be, really?
Well, that's a lot of them are indie games where they are not games that are. I mean, if there's a point and click game, point and click adventure game, I'm just gonna assume. But yeah, a lot of them are platformers and stuff, which I would just assume.
Right.
Jeff Swan has made some recommendations to me as well. There's a game, the name is escaping me right now, but it looks like a straight up Star Fox clone, like original Star Fox, only with good frame rate. I got to find the name of it and send you that trailer because it looks. I kind of want to play it just because of the nostalgia, but without all the clipping and stuff from the original game. So.
It'll probably be a better Star Fox amalgam than League of Super Pets, that's for sure.
I would hope so. The same 3 lines recycled over and over again.
Oh, no.
Ugh, I can't imagine. Anyway, Alyssa, you have been playing Stray, which I am shocked it took you this long to get into this game because you are one of the biggest cat lovers I know. How adorable. On a scale of 1 to 10 hairballs, how cute is Stray?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd use hairballs as a metric because they are not adorable at all. But
I can speak from experience.
I'd say it's 10 adorable level, 10 out of 10 toe beans.
Toe beans?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call cats' little paws and toe pads.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
okay.
toe beans.
He doesn't like cats at all. This guy is a poser.
Yeah. I've only got 6 of them.
Against your will.
Not really. Anyway, 10 out of 10 toe beans.
Mm-hmm.
For cuteness.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the game, because I've seen clip after clip after clip of this game, and just like cute, that basically just look like a cat running around and jumping on things. But I don't really get what this game is about in terms of mechanics. I've heard people say it turns into a shooter. I've heard people say that there's a lot of puzzles. I don't really know what it is. Can you tell us?
I'm only about 2 to 3 hours in, but I think this game's only 6 to 8 hours long. So,
nice.
I know, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have not encountered any shooting mechanics so far, or what else you said?
Puzzles.
Oh, I've had some puzzles, but they were super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, you're just going around the city. Because this, I don't want to give away too much from the story, but the beginning is sad, and I'm like, no.
Is it like the first 10 minutes of up levels of sad?
I didn't cry, but
Okay.
my heart inside was just like, no, I can't stand this.
Okay.
So animals do die in this game.
After that, I haven't really encountered. There's no death. It was just what happens to the main cat and why they're. I don't know what gender this cat is. Why they're in this desolate city now. Because I think it's post-apocalyptic, because the only living things I've encountered are robots, and then the enemies are called Zerks, and they just look like pink blobs.
Zerks?
Oh.
That's what they're called.
Like Zerks?
Zurks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodness. So, how many
but
lives
you do have a little
start
robot
with?
friend. Oh, you have infinite lives.
Oh,
and there's no. It's just one set difficulty, so you don't choose a difficulty level. And if your cat does die, you don't see it like perish in any terrible way. It doesn't do that.
It's like the Tomb Raider reboot deaths, where it's just like a spike going through their jaw.
Yeah, no traumatic moments. I have died about 5 times due to the stupid Zerks, because they'll hop on your cat and they kind of just act like a vampire to the cat. And if too many get on it, you have to restart the last checkpoint. But it just has a red screen that flashes, and then you're back at the checkpoint. But I mean, so far it's just you do adventure a little bit, but it's pretty linear. And once you reach an area called the slums, that's where you have to kind of find some stuff for some of the robots to progress. But it's really charming. It has a dedicated meow button, so pushing the circle button, and I know you get a trophy for a certain amount of meows, which
100 meows.
actually 100. I did get a trophy. I don't know if I did 100 meows or not. But the funny thing was, I was showing my dad. I'm like, Dad, look at this cat game. And I pushed the meow button, and as soon as I did, I got the trophy. He's like, have you pushed the meow button so many times you got an achievement? I'm like, yep.
Oh, yeah.
There's actually a voice actor for the cat in this game. I saw videos like meet the voice actor behind Stray, and they have a picture of the cat that they actually recorded meowing, which I thought was.
And another cute thing is in this game, you can come across pillows and couches, and if you push the triangle button, your cat will take a nap, and the controller will vibrate with its purring, and you can hear it coming from the speaker of your controller.
Pretty cute.
So you're just like, oh, it's like I'm holding a sleeping cat in my hands.
It's better than a real cat because it doesn't poop in your house.
Right.
True.
But the real important question, Alyssa, is can you pet yourself?
No. But you can rub against some of the robots.
That's a dangerous question.
That was not meant to be a dirty question.
I didn't take it that way.
Everybody always asks, can you pet the dog? Can you pet the cat? There's like literally a website or a Twitter handle dedicated to can you pet the dog.
I know.
But I'm
just a pervert.
At the beginning, you're with some other cats, and you can kind of rub faces with the other cats.
Nice.
And then you come across robots, and some of them you can rub against their legs. Some you can't.
Ah.
But no one offers to pet you. I'm like, why is no one petting me?
Yeah, that's effed up. Maybe that's the end of the game, right? You finally find a human that pets you.
I hope so.
So what's your
cat deserves it.
goal, or can you tell us without like actually spoiling the story? I mean, what are you trying to accomplish?
I don't really know what the end goal is, besides maybe trying to get back to your family of other stray cats, because you do become separated from them.
Gotcha.
And that's why you're in this city.
Okay. So just trying to get home.
That's what I'm assuming the story is, because obviously it's a cat and they can't really speak. But your robot companion does also want to remember how they got to this world, and they don't remember much, so you're finding memories for the robot as well as you travel.
Do the humans talk to you, or you said you haven't come across any humans yet?
No humans, just robots, and they do speak to you, but it's all in text. They don't really make any noise. They don't speak.
Do they do the Banjo-Kazooie?
They don't even do that. It's just your robot companion translates what I guess they're thinking, because the robots really don't make any kind of noise when they're speaking. So
does this imply that the cat can understand English?
I'm assuming the robot is speaking to the cat in cat language, or not really speaking, but showing the text screen in cat language. I don't know.
There's a certain suspension of disbelief. Yeah. You have to go into a game where you control a cat.
I only asked because I remember watching the trailers. I thought it was neat. Like, the signs don't seem to be in any real language, and I just interpret that as like the cat can't read the signs.
Yeah, okay. You have to have your robot companion translate the signs so you can read it.
Okay, see, you know what? I'm saying the robot is translating to cat for you. That's what I'm saying. I'm all in now.
So are you enjoying it? Like, is it fun?
I am.
Okay.
It's fun, yeah, and it's cute. Just the dang Zerks.
So what are you like platforming to get around them? Are you running past them? Are you having to solve puzzles to get past them? Why are you struggling with these Zerks? Like, it's a weird sentence.
The one instance where I died about 5 times because of these was because of a puzzle, and you kind of had to figure out exactly what you have to do, and I kept trying different things, and it wasn't working, and then the final attempt, it clicked, and I was able to get past them.
Gotcha.
So, I'm assuming the puzzles will probably ramp up later on. So far, they've been pretty simple. This one took a little bit more brain power.
So you're recommending it?
If you like cats and you want a fairly linear adventure game, so far it could open up. I don't know, but right now I do recommend it if you're looking for this kind of game. It's really cute, especially if you like cats. There's a lot of attention to detail. The jumping, I will say, you can't just naturally jump on things. You have to look at what you want to jump on, push X, and then continue to look at each different thing you want to jump on. And
so it's
push
not like
X.
true platforming, it's like point and click?
No.
Jumping?
Yeah, you're just pointing and clicking to jump, so...
Yeah, kind of like, Uncharted, right? It's not too dissimilar.
So you're not gonna, miss anything or fall off a platform or anything. It will not allow you to fall off.
Well, it wouldn't matter anyway, because cats always land on their feet.
That's true.
Oh, boy. That is true.
I just think it's a shame you can't. I think the game, you should have to beat it in 9 lives.
Yeah, that should be a
I think
trophy
you get a trophy if you die 9 times.
Oh my god, they're incentivizing murdering this poor cat?
I know. And I think that so far the only way I've died is by the Zerks.
Where's Pete at on this?
I don't know, man. The internet is just blowing up about this. Like Twitter is showing videos of their people's cats that are obsessed watching their owners play Stray.
Oh yeah, I've seen the videos.
I hardly ever see articles about video games on big publications like Forbes, but they did a whole article on Stray. Apparently, to make it a successful game, you just got to have animals in it, and people just love it. I'm not knocking this game. I don't know about the quality of it, but
you see on the Steam user reviews or whatever, it's the second best reviewed game of the year.
Seriously?
Only behind Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And but God of War came to Steam this year. This game's more popular than God of War on Steam.
I mean,
a lot of cat lovers out there.
My first argument was going to be, well, that's because it's not a console war game, but this is exclusive to PlayStation and PC, so
yeah,
that is interesting.
Point.
That is interesting. Anyway,
that's funny.
Stray, which you are playing on PS5, right?
Yes.
So how does it look?
It looks beautiful. When you get the game, you have the choice of either downloading the PS5 or PS4 version.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks great on PS5. I can't attest to how it looks on PS4, but I haven't had any graphical issues at all so far. And I will say the cat's face sometimes looks a little funny. Like, it'll kind of look a little humanoid at times. So I'm like, no, I don't like this.
Oh, no.
Zoom away.
Okay.
I don't know why.
flashbacks
It's
to
just when it gets
Seaman right
close
now.
to the cat's face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
Anyway,
this is an issue for anybody else, but just if the camera gets a little too close to the cat's face, it starts to look a little humanoid. I'm like, nope, get back the camera up.
No.
Let it be a cute kitty again.
That's really funny.
That's funny. Let me. Did you pay for the game, or did they manage to convert you into PlayStation Plus Extra?
I did not convert, so
Okay, good for you. Good for you.
None of us have yet.
They know. Well, if you put the game in your cart, they're like, "Hey, you're kind of being an idiot, don't you think, bro? You should really just upgrade."
yeah, they
It's
try.
like-
They try to get you to.
Yeah, but their wording is like super douchey.
Oh, really? They
Anyway.
actually are like mean about it?
I guess maybe that's the tone I read it. I guess where they're just like, "Man, it's just such a better value if you come over here. I mean, you're only basically paying the same anyway. You have to be crazy." Okay, they don't use crazy, but
No,
it's
I
like,
get you.
you'd be if you want to buy this game, you're going to be missing out on 100 plus other games.
Yeah. I mean, they're not wrong. They're really trying to do the...
I know everybody wants your subscription, man.
Yep. One of us is going to succumb to it eventually.
I could see it for the extra, but I can't understand the paying for the retro games and the time demos that they have.
Is that all the top tier gets you is retro games and time demo?
Yeah.
All I
Yeah.
want is the one that lets you get like Stray and Final Fantasy and...
Yeah, that's the mid tier one.
Or actually,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy isn't in there, is it?
No, some of them are like the Final Fantasy, like Worlds of Final Fantasy. I know is in there, or
Gotcha.
I think Final Fantasy 8 and 7 remastered, not remake, are in there as well.
Right. How much is the mid tier? Do you remember
I think
I
it's
don't know.
100
for the
a year. Yeah,
I think I don't know what it is. It might be. Yeah,
I
guess don't know.
believe the mid tier is 100, and then the top one is 120.
I know it is the cost of Stray for me to convert for the rest of the year right now. I know that
That's a good point.
because they keep reminding me.
Interesting. Well, anyway, I want to move on real quick because I got one more review to share with you. Kevin stopped by to talk to us about a PC game that he's playing. We'll check that out right now. Kevin Honigford, how are you doing, sir?
I am much better now. Thank you for asking.
Yes, so you another COVID survivor, man. Congratulations. I'm glad to see you upright.
I'm glad to be upright.
Yeah, especially before this weekend. We're going to a concert together. I cannot wait. So,
Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to that for a long time.
yeah, I was getting a little nervous, man. I thought you weren't going to be able to make it, but you're not here to talk about Coheed and Cambria. You're here to talk about a game that you've been previewing for us called Scathe, which I know you're playing on PC, but I believe is available on console as well.
Yep,
This
will be.
yeah, it will be. It actually releases on the 31st in full?
Correct. Yep.
And you didn't play the full game. You just kind of play a preview build, correct?
Yeah, as far as I could tell, it seems like it's a full game, but the big thing right now is it seems like the big selling point for this game is going to be co-op, and there just weren't any games available because it's not really available yet. So,
Right.
but I did play, I left my game open for public to join, and nothing ever happened, and I even tried finding a game, and it never found one for me. So I have yet to experience this in any kind of co-op fashion.
Okay, well, let's talk about what the game actually is, because from the trailer, this looks like a full-on hardcore FPS shooter with lots of gore, lots of speed, lots of action. What's going on with Scathe?
You just hit every button or every nail on the head. It is exactly what you just said. It is the first one of these I've played where the word bullet hell actually means something to me as I'm playing.
Okay.
Because it is literally a hell of bullets.
Because when you hear bullet hell, you typically think of like vertical or horizontal shooters with spaceships.
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean? You don't see a ton of bullet hell type games in first-person shooters. Maybe Returnal comes to mind, which I haven't played, but I've heard that's a
Yeah, me neither.
bullet. Well, I guess that's third person, but
Yeah. But no, the thing here is every enemy you go up against, well, almost every enemy has some form of bullet that they will fire, and they are all very patternized, and they're all it's very fast, but they're slow enough to where you can see the rhythm to maneuver yourself in and out of the bullets.
gotcha.
Okay.
I did a lot of strafing as bullets were coming at me, and it's kind of weird the way it works. It's really almost mesmerizing as you're just getting this hail of bullets shot at you, and you just see them coming at you fast enough to where if you're not on top of your game, I mean, you'll get blown up real quick, but slow enough to where once you figure the pattern out, it makes it a little bit simpler to kind of bob and weave, so to speak.
Gotcha. So it's a lot of pattern recognition, like those old school, NES, SNES games, Genesis games, where you have to memorize the patterns of the bosses. Does each enemy feel like a boss, or are they? How much? I mean, because
it's not so much that enemies feel like bosses; it's that you'll get into rooms where there are so many enemies that almost the room is a boss itself.
Oh, okay.
So to kind of break things down, you are playing the character Scathe, who has been chosen by the divine creator. And you have to go through hell to basically fight off his brother and bring back his staff. Hell itself is like a labyrinth. And this is where I don't
7
know
layers, right?
There's a lot more than 7 rooms, I'll say that. But this is where I'm not sure if they're going to expand anything on this, because this was very confusing to me. But each room obviously leads to a different room. There's different paths you can take, but each room is like its own static room. So it is what it is. It's not like a procedural build or anything like that. And as you traverse, you can open this map, but the map doesn't actually show you the room that you're in. It just shows you like the layout of the rooms. And each room is identified by a different rune symbol.
Oh, okay.
And so you can kind of like you can, when you get to a door in the room you're in, which there are numerous doors because there's different paths off of each room, almost each room from what I can tell, you can look at the map and say, okay, this is going to take me over here if I've already been there, or it's going to take me, if it's a room that's not on the map by any of its rune identifying markers,
right,
it's going to take you someplace you haven't been yet. And it's really hard to maneuver. Like I played for probably 4 or 5 hours before I came across what is the first guardian, basically the first boss.
Okay.
It took me a lot of time to try and figure out where exactly I was going and how to get there.
So so they give you the map right off the bat, but you have to know where you are and then know which path you took and remember that spot the next time you look at the map.
No, maybe I'm not explaining it quite right. I mean, the map is, you'll open the map and whatever rooms you've been to will be on the map, and it will show the path that was taken. They're just little octagons or hexagons or something like that, shapes. And it will show you the paths you've taken with this red line going from room to room. And like I said, I think the reason it's hard to explain is because it was very confusing in the game itself.
Gotcha.
Like I said, it took me a long time to finally figure out where I had to go from room to room, and multiple basically playthroughs to figure out where I was going to get to where I needed to go.
But when you come back and try again, the map is the same. You said it's not procedurally generated, right?
Yep. When you come back and try again, it's all there. Whatever you've been in is already on the map. So that kind of helps you a little bit. And that helped me to get to where I needed to go. But it was like, until you uncover those rooms, it is completely almost like walking blind.
So is there any benefit to going in a particular path? Like, are there power-ups along the way or anything that's going to help you, any preferred method to go through in order to make that boss easier?
Not that I can find.
Okay.
And just to be clear as well, I have only used, I've played this thing for probably 7-8 hours now. I have yet to find a second weapon.
Oh, wow.
I know that there are more there because they're in the videos. And I went and watched, the developer was actually streaming a playthrough on Twitch. And
that is Damage State, by the way. That's the name of the developer.
Yep. And just to see if I was doing something wrong. See if there was something I was missing. And they didn't even really go into too much detail. They just would cut to where they had a different weapon when they were talking about it. They wouldn't show going and getting it or anything. So I know they exist. Like I said, I don't know if if maybe that's a part that has to be put in yet before it releases full. I would think it would be almost done by now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that part also was a little frustrating.
Gotcha.
The positive thing, though, is this. I know that I don't remember how I know. I don't know if it was in the video he showed, but the other weapons all have ammunition that you have to reload. And
Right.
or no, I know because I see the pickups throughout the levels. Like there will be little pickups for each different weapon. But the ammo for the initial weapon is infinite for both of its abilities. So
Which is nice. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
So I know this is a ways off. We're looking at the end of the month before this actually releases in full. But are you recommending it? Do you want more?
I do, but I really want to see. I know that co-op is the big selling point for this thing, and I really want to play it on co-op. The only thing that scares me with that is I know, like, it tells you in the game, it has its own little like wiki thing in the menus, where you can go and look up what everything is and what it means. And when you go to look at the lives, because you can get extra lives in the level, you start with 10, and you can gain little icons, find little icons that'll give you an extra life.
Right.
When you look at those, it specifically says that in co-op mode, lives are shared by teams.
Oh,
and I don't know what that means. Yeah, I think it's a Contra type deal where every player basically shares the same pool of lives.
that makes it interesting.
I don't know
What makes the co-op such a selling point? Because I hear FPS and bullet hell. Nothing about that makes me scream that I want to play this with somebody else. But what makes that sound cool?
Just the fast pace. To me, the fast-paced bullet hell action is what sells it to me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Again, it's left to see. I don't know if like you'll get more enemies spawned if you have someone join the game, or if it's just the way it is right now and add another player with you. I think it would be a blast because
All right.
it is crazy hard.
I know you love to play games together with people, especially your boys.
Yeah, that too.
So that definitely helps. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for checking out Scathe. I want to also give a thank you to Press Engine for providing us with a copy of this. Actually, it's a preview build. It's not the full game. But it sounds like you're digging it. You just kind of want a little bit more options, and hopefully that'll come with the full game, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. As always, it's a pleasure talking with you, and we'll catch you next time, okay?
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity, man.
All right, later, bye.
See ya.
All right, moving on. Want to remind everybody about our social media outlets. First off, facebook.com/groups/thegocast. You can join the community over there. We got lots of good conversations going on. Also, our Discord server, there's a link for that in the show notes for this episode if you'd like to join over there. I try to keep both Facebook and Discord updated with any relevant news or any fun video game related memes or discussion points. Also, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. If you'd like to see an easy way to have access to all of our episodes or any of our written content, you can find it all there. With that, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. By the time you hear this episode, it will be the month of August, and every first episode of the month, we ask you, the Gaming Outsider community, for video game-related questions for us to discuss on the show. And as usual, you guys delivered. We're going to go around the horn here. We'll start with Alyssa, then Zach, then me. And we will start with Facebook, then Discord, and then Twitter. So, Alyssa, why don't you kick things off for us?
Andrew Jack says, please let Zach talk about the new Nier Discovery.
Yeah. Why don't I want to hear your take on this whole thing, because I've heard some rumors about it.
I was almost startled not to see it in the news, but now I see why.
Yep.
I mean, do you guys know anything about this? I think Alyssa, maybe, do you know anything about this?
Don't think I've heard anything about it.
All over Twitter.
It's kind of, how have I not seen it?
I know if you follow me.
I know.
I tweet about two things: Green Lantern and Nier.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the big Nier thing. This guy on Reddit, Sad Fatago was his name. He posted there. He was saying, "Hey guys, I think something might have been glitched in my game. I just found this door in the copied city. I let it walk he went up to a part of the wall in the copied city, which is an area close to the end of the first playthrough." And he's like, "There's a door here. Let's me walk through it." And then you walked into the door, and then it's a church. And on the altar is this little girl figure. She's wearing a wristband, like Yona, Nier's sister, does. And she's got a lunar tear over her chest. And then there's a shade, which shades aren't in Nier Automata. They're only in Nier Replicant. sitting at the altar, kind of looking sad, and there's a treasure chest to the right, and the chest has medical information on Yona. So it's like this little hidden area for the original Nier characters, and everyone's freaking out. They're like, what the hell is going on here? How did he get this? No one can recreate it. And modders are like, yeah, I guess it is possible, but it'd be really substantial work to do. And because you're creating models that aren't in the game, so it's not quick mod work. And this guy's playing real dumb. He seems to have a poor grasp on the English language. And then he says he's going to keep experimenting around in the room, and like he tries to attack the shade in the room there, and it's a super hard boss, and he keeps dying. And then he's updating people throughout the weekend, and then eventually he beats the shade, and then what it does is it unlocks yet another door, and he goes through the door, and then it's just straight up Zero from Drakengard 3 reaching out for a lunar tier. And now this is at the point where I'm like, okay, this can't be a mod. That's an insane. Those are assets not even from. This is from the sister franchise now. You know,
right?
Like this would take some serious work. And then he posted a screenshot, this rather beautiful artsy screenshot of Zero reaching out for a lunar tier and it being just out of reach. And I know I'm rambling here, but it's all for a story. So now the modders are coming out and they're like, okay, this would just be impossible. Like, this would take years of work. What's going on? Now you've got Yosuke Saito, who's a producer of the Nier and Drakengard franchise. He's on Twitter, and whenever anybody asks him a question, he's like, "Oh, that looks interesting. I pre-order. It's coming to Switch soon. If you want to learn more about Nier Automata." So, and then Yoko Taro, people are asking him, and he's like, "Hey, I don't talk about other companies' products because he tries not to answer Nier questions because he doesn't own Nier." He always just goes like, ask Square Enix, man. It's their franchise, in somewhat of a bitter way. But anyway, and so now people are like, it's got to be a viral marketing stunt, right? Like it's coming to Switch soon. Maybe this is stuff they added that like helped tie the games together, because there would be decent lore reasons why these things would be in the Copied City area. And and these people are showing more and more of the areas. It's not just Zero; it is the other intoners as well. So like 5 other characters from Drakengard 3. In the way that they end the game, so it's not just the way it's not just like their character models, even it's like the way they end the game. So it kind of ties in lore wise, and there's like this weird destroyed city in the background, and now people are really going all out. And then Sad Futago changes their Reddit bio to it's just a link to their Twitch channel, and it just says finale. You're like, okay,
finale.
What the hell is going on? What is happening? And yeah, why is specifically is Yosuke Saito taking this opportunity to say, hey, pre-order the Switch version here? So it's really just so elaborate. And then finally they add to their Twitch bio, not ARG, not an augmented reality game, because a lot of people thought it was like maybe some kind of ARG marketing stunt for Nier 3 or Nier on Switch or something like that, or God forbid, a Drakengard 3 that's remade in a playable version, not its messed up PS3 version. And so people are freaking out, but then it all gets messed up because then they add to their Twitch bio, not official. So now we're in trouble. And so it kind of deflates the whole community there. But then I set up a notification. I watched the reveal live. And it turns out despite all of this work, all these Drakengard assets, all these weirdly tasteful artistic decisions, it was in fact 3 modders, and it was, and which again, right? The modding community is like, that would be so insane. And then so it was 3 modders. They spent 3 years making the assets for these series of rooms.
Oh my god!
And then they spent several months coming up with a plan of how they could try to trick the Nier community. So the ride was still super fun. Obviously the reveal is definitely deflating. Major shout out to Yosuke Saito, a producer taking advantage of the situation to try to get people to pre-order the Switch version of Automata.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was modders, and I was just because like to me I was rationalizing of like because we know a decent bit about game development with seeing so much behind the scenes stuff and going to events and stuff. You know what it takes to make a game, and like I'm looking at these assets and I'm like, yeah, no, it's possible a modder could do it, but it would take, if it was just one guy, it would take years. If it was a small team, it would take years. And who's going to dedicate that amount of time just to trick a community? And it turns out these 3 people were those people. So I guess they have a lot of time. This is how they chose to, use their hobby free time. I guess we know they can make good assets because, boy, they look just like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 characters of Drakengard 3. And
you think they'll get hired somewhere?
I mean, it's a good job pitch. Like the stuff they were doing was so artfully coherent with what you would expect out of the franchise. It was just like, yeah, these guys obviously really care about Drakenir, and it's just, I guess in some way, I view it as Yoko Taro's games are always about like people should come together. Like that's very much what Automata's ending is. And I was like, you know what? These guys brought a whole community together.
Mm-hmm.
So really, they're living the dream.
Look at that. Dude,
That's
the
an awesome
internet
story.
was going crazy with it. I saw somebody like modded Mario 64 where they went like the castle at the very beginning. They went to the far right of the castle, and then someone had modded to make it look like they just went up to like this random thing after a certain sequence of jumps that they had to do to make this glitch happen, and then a door opened, and it was the same hallway from the near thing. Whatever they did, like it was like a spiral hallway. I
mean, the memes were out of control.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
It's pretty great. And it was funny because the whole community, like in the Reddit, kind of agreed like what a fun ride and stuff. But it was just really funny because then the next day it was back to just being pictures of like Tubi and Kane's butts.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, well, we spent a weekend in church, so I guess we're all bottled up now.
Got some of that righteous energy to burn off.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny, but yeah, what an interesting ride. Now I'm slightly disappointed because. I'm a little antsy for Nier 3 information. It's going to be almost 6 years now.
Wait, do we know anything?
No, only that they hired an additional writer. That's all we know.
Gotcha. Whatever that game is, game of the year for Zach.
Well, there's good odds.
Yeah,
but yeah, we know Nier 3 is in the works, and we know that Yoko Taro hired an additional writer. That's about all we know.
Fair enough. Why don't you go ahead and take the next comment while you're going.
Well, I'm a motor mouthing here. Sean Coates writes in, what do you consider to be the hardest part of the writing process when doing game reviews? For me, it's trying to not to contradict myself, writing a catchy intro, and coming up with clever headers. Sean is asking how the sausage is made here, which makes sense because Sean does a lot of reviews for us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Scott, why don't you lead us off here? What's the toughest part of writing a review for you?
Honestly, the hardest part of writing a review, and I'm not saying this to be like goofy or full of myself or anything, the hardest part is starting. Like I have the hardest time just sitting down and getting that first sentence down. Once I do, I just kind of roll, but I struggle with starting because like in my mind, the way I was taught how to write when I was a kid was to, do like an outline and structure what's going to come at the beginning, middle, and end, and I should be taking notes while I'm doing the game, and I don't do that as much anymore as I used to. So, I just wind up sitting down and just starting to write that introductory paragraph. And once I do that, all of a sudden, what feels like just a couple minutes, it's more like a half hour, 45 minutes. I've got this review written. But it takes me sometimes hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks to actually sit down and start the review. So that's my answer is I hate starting it. I really do. That's why, again, this is a little bit like Zach said about the way the sausage is made. Alyssa has taken it upon herself to start doing what we call creating the shell, where she, she adds the pictures and she does the SEO and the title and the meta description and all the tags and all that kind of stuff. Since I don't have to do that anymore, it makes it a lot easier because she just creates the shell and all I got to do is just head right to the body and start writing. But I struggle doing that. So Alyssa, I really appreciate that you have taken that upon yourself to do. It makes my life a lot easier. I don't know how I did it all before. I used to do all the editing, all the website stuff, and then writing myself. It was a pain. You guys and Zach does our editing. I really appreciate both of you.
Thank you. It's no problem for me to do that.
Awesome. Alyssa, what's the hardest part for you?
It's the same for me, just starting, because I try to think of how I want to start it, and I'll sit there for who knows how long, but then once I start, it just kind of flows out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And, sorry, mental image after I said that, I'm like, oh, poor word choice there.
Oh. I was all right with it.
Anyway.
This is definitely the PG-13 episode.
It is. Me turning 30. Just.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, the dirty 30s, full effect. I think
yeah,
you should have been. You should have been here when it was me, Alyssa, and CB. Yeah, I think we definitely pushed the rating on that one.
I think we usually do when it's the three of us.
Without Teacher Clark here.
Yeah, I listen, guys. I don't know if you know that, but I do listen.
You like our impression of you?
My old ears do listen to the show still. I know what a podcast is.
Have you guys heard of Zelda?
People who have not listened to past episodes or have no idea what you're talking about, but the three of these, my three co-hosts like to make fun of my age when I'm away, apparently.
I don't make fun of your age.
That's true. Alyssa, you stuck up for me. You laughed, though. You did laugh.
You know what's hard? Being a teacher.
I laugh easily with you guys.
She does laugh very easily.
Yeah. It's
Zach,
fun.
what about you?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think, I don't know, I hyperfixate on flow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to make sure one paragraph leads into the other, which I guess is the point of writing. But I always... I reread it like 4 times before I even send it to you guys to try to make sure it reads well. Yeah, I don't have... For intros, I always write my intros afterwards. So I feel like that helps me come up with a catchy intro. Because then I know what I'm leading into the body of.
Maybe I should try that.
Yeah.
And I find that works for me rather well. Honestly, the hardest part, though, is if the game is like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
That's the hardest.
Not really bad, not really good, but right there.
Right,
in the middle.
That game happened.
Yeah, you want to convey that in your writing. Like, you don't want to gush about it, but you don't want to just trash it either.
Right, because like it's fine, and then like especially if it doesn't really have any kind of unique hook. Which granted, unique hooks are becoming rare and rare. But it's like, what the hell am I going to write about?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it plays like every other game, which means it has Souls-like combat because every game has that now, huh?
You're saving the world.
An unnecessary character tree that doesn't actually add any choice. Okay, check. Yeah, it can be tough on those ones for sure.
All right, moving on to Discord. Ferris asks, have any of you ever been physically injured from playing a game? For example, I recall a decision to play a certain Kung Fu game for Kinect whilst directly underneath a high-speed ceiling fan. I just like that he used the word whilst. That's a severely underused word in today's era.
It is.
Needless to say, my hands hurt for a week. Kind of surprised I didn't break anything. Wish I was streaming that. Zach, have you ever injured yourself gaming?
I mean, outside of, because I had 2 brothers maybe hitting each other with a controller or something.
Yeah.
But nothing direct I can think of other than, I would blame Tony Hawk for all my skateboarding injuries when I was a kid because it was definitely the reason I bought a skateboard.
Yeah.
But, so when you say, yeah, have you ever been physically injured from playing a game? Yes, all the skateboard injuries. Absolutely.
Like if I could do it in the game, I could do it for real.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, you actually have to practice before you can grind? Huh. Wish somebody had told my genitals that before I jumped on this rail. What about you, Scott?
Does playing the Virtual Boy count? Because I don't think
it counts.
I don't think you can come away from playing that without being injured.
It's probably why you're wearing glasses right now.
Probably is. No, when I was a kid, one of my parents found like an article in a newspaper or something about Nintendo-itis, where like you get like calluses on your thumbs, which was a thing. Like if I played for like many hours, my thumbs would hurt, and they would call it Nintendo-itis. I thought that was funny. It's not I don't know. I thought that was funny. Most of my injuries have come from playing VR. I think one of the first times I played VR was at a friend of CB's. I believe his name is Nick. We were over at his house, and he let me play his Oculus, and I was playing Beat Saber. And he's got a whole room dedicated to it, and I think I hit my... No, it wasn't there. It was here at my house. I was playing either Pistol Whip or the one where you climb. No. I was playing the Star Wars one where you're in like the dojo, and you have to block blast bolts with your lightsaber. And I whipped around, and if you guys have... I can't remember if... I know you haven't been in my basement, Alyssa, but Zach, over in the area where I keep my NES collection, it's got that like pillar down the middle of the room by the bar. I swung around and just like hit my knuckles on that thing while I was holding the remote. And I think one time I hit the ceiling. I knocked one of the drop ceiling tiles out, And so I had some rough knuckles for a couple days from
That's funny.
VR, but that's about the extent. I don't even think I ever like hurt myself playing Kinect games like Fierce did, but I don't know, maybe pulled up. Oh, one time I was playing, we had a Stoy from the EXP cast over, and I was playing Pistol Whip. And he told me before we started playing, he's like, dude, you're going to want to stretch. I was like, dude, I'm not going to stretch to play a VR game. I should have stretched. My, what do you call my thigh muscles, like inner thighs were sore for like 4 days. Because like in that game, you're actually ducking, dipping, diving, dodging. And anyway.
Do you think the 5Ds?
The 5Ds,
5Ds
yeah.
of
Thank
VR?
you for catching that. I was worried somebody wasn't going to. But yeah, you're doing lots of squats basically in that game, and my thighs felt it for like the next 4 days. But that wasn't really an injury. So, good question, Ferris.
What about Alyssa? You injure yourself?
Surprisingly, no, not during a game. I am prone to injuring myself, but never during a game. The closest is just getting blisters from playing Super Meat Boy on my hands. That's the closest. Yeah. Or getting motion sickness, but that's not really an injury. But I am surprised, genuinely surprised, I've not injured myself while gaming. Because I've walked in a straight line before and I sprained my foot and ankle. So, it wouldn't surprise me if I would injure myself while gaming.
Another injury I can think of is at the end of Shadow Colossus when it broke my heart.
Oh, yeah. The heartbreak.
All right, Alyssa, you're up.
Okay. Jacob Gunderson writes, what feels like your greatest win or big accomplishment? I've beaten my fair share of games, grinding my way through hours of gameplay to 100% everything, but only one stands out. Little me playing Star Fox 64 and finding the special path to the true ending, and after struggling against Wolf, finally seeing that mission accomplished at the end. I totally cried, but man, did that victory taste so sweet.
That's a good one. I remember that too. For me, in the same game, I think it was like you would rack up so many dollars that Sergeant Pepper had to pay you at the end, and like you would be like, "What?" Like when you reach a certain amount, and that was a big moment too. But yeah, remember how cool that story was when we were kids, like Star Fox 64, when like your dad is talking to you and you're a true pilot, Fox. Like you've never seen him. It's literally just an image of Fox with a pair of glasses over his eyes. There's nothing else different, but it was so cool when you were a kid. Yeah, good stuff. So what do you guys think?
I love Star Fox.
Big accomplishment.
I think mine was just beating Devil May Cry 3 on normal.
That's fair.
Without going down to the easy level.
Okay, I've never played that one.
They did release a version on PS2 that if you died a certain amount of times, they'd be like, would you like to switch to the easy level?
Oh man, every time they ask me that, I want to break my TV. Stop asking me that, Capcom.
I mean, the first game was hard, but Devil May Cry 3 is hard.
Didn't the original play more like Resident Evil? In some respects, like the static cameras and stuff?
The first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more... Wasn't that supposed to be Resident Evil 4, but then it became Devil May Cry?
It started as Resident Evil 4, yeah. But it has like key puzzles, I think, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But I remember because Devil May Cry 2 was so easy that you could beat every boss by just pull out your pistols and just shoot every boss to death, which is just not a...
it just didn't feel like a Devil May Cry game. It was so easy. And then you go to 3 and it just demolishes you.
It's straight up like the development team was like, oh, too easy, huh? Okay, yeah. No, I hear you loud and clear.
And then didn't 4 go back to being easy again?
I feel like it was a good mix.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a fairly good mix.
Yeah, then 5, of course, we were just there for the excellent dialogue.
I mean, there was also the DMC Devil May Cry, which I actually like that game.
Oh, yeah, me too. That game's great.
I tried 3 times to get into that game. I could not do it. Granted, I had no history of the Devil May Cry series up to that point, so I feel like I was probably a little lost to begin with. But
that's how I like my reboots, just radically different.
Yeah,
just give me a whole new idea like that.
What about
I
you,
even
Zach?
like the Turok reboot.
Oh, Turok.
Oh, hey, Turok's great. Oh man, biggest accomplishment. I guess the one that jumps out would be getting the Arkham City Platinum,
Mhm.
and getting all the DLC trophies as well. Because then so in order to get the Platinum, right, you have to do not only the Riddler challenges, but they have these things called Riddler campaigns, which is where they put 3 Riddler challenges back to back, and you have to beat them all like in one go. And each map has negative things. It'll be like, beat this whole. Beat this combat encounter just using gadgets and counters or something like that. Don't actually punch or whatever. Like, it's super difficult stuff. And not only did I do that for Batman, but then I did it for Catwoman, Robin, and Nightwing as well.
Holy cow!
Yeah, because
It's impressive.
It was no joke. And some of them are tough, right? Like, yeah, because only Batman can destroy enemy weapons. So when you're playing as the other characters, people can keep picking up the riot shields and stuff. And then as the campaigns go on, there's just all this stuff littered around. So basically everybody's got some kind of weapon at that point that you have to use some kind of special tactic for. It's incredibly difficult. But yeah, when I finally pulled it off, I felt pretty darn accomplished.
Nice. For me, I got a couple. I'll start old school. When I was younger, beating Back to the Future on the Nintendo Entertainment System was a pretty big accomplishment. I don't know if you guys have played that game, but that game is hard. That's a tough game, especially because you play through the entire game and you get to the final stage where you're driving the DeLorean, dodging lightning bolts, and you have to hit the clock tower rope thing where your car is going exactly 88 miles per hour, and the game literally only gives you one shot to do it. If you don't do it, you start the entire game over again.
Ooh.
Old school video games are mean.
Yep. So that one, moving a little bit more forward, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2, is the first game I remember getting 100% on, and it took me a long time to do that as a kid, or what felt like a long time when I was a kid. It's probably like something like 4 days. Looking back at it now, but that was tough. More recently, I know this won't mean anything to you guys, but being a huge Pinball FX fanatic, I've got a couple scores that when I had them were in the top 100 of the world, which was a really cool feeling. So I have a sub at top 100 score twice, which is a really cool feeling. So
That's
that
awesome.
felt really good. I know I will never get the number 1 spot on one of those because you would not believe the robots some of these people must be to be able to keep these kinds of things going. But interestingly enough, one of them was the Back to the Future table. So that's kind of funny. I didn't even realize that until just now.
Marty McFly means the whole world to you.
Apparently.
If I can, one older one I just thought I would probably be beating Majora's Mask, because that was the first one I beat without like asking an uncle or an older person to help out or like looking up anything. I just beat that one on my own. That felt pretty great.
Yeah. You didn't like cheat at all on that game.
No. Because I don't think because the house we were at that summer, I don't think we even had internet. So I think I had no choice.
Yeah, I mean, even the internet was kind of like it was harder to find stuff than it is. I didn't have YouTube.
That's true, yeah. But then when you're a kid and you learn about GameFAQs.com, your whole world, whole mind exploded.
I missed that website.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Man, I remember like all the ASCII like art that you had to like scroll through all that stuff to be able to get to like the actual stuff you wanted. And like they had a table of contents, like there was no way to like skip ahead. I think they would give you like a code for each section that you could like control F and like to skip right to that or whatever.
That's true. I remember that. Well, do people like they use ASCII art to like draw out the dungeons and stuff? Man, these people were the real deal.
Yeah, like I just can't even imagine like what patience it would take to do that. They put like an X, like this thing is right here, and
I remember for Ocarina of Time, I printed out the GameFAQs strategy guide. It was like 60 pages or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Boy, my grandma was mad.
Probably you had one of those dot matrix printers too, with like the perforated like.
I don't even know. It's like, ink was such a commodity back then for printers,
right? Now
I remember.
It would plus it would take probably like a good like 30 seconds for one page. You know what I mean? Like that's a long time for that printer to be running.
Or I'm sure Alyssa's of a similar age, so I'm sure she remembers this when you're trying to like get online as a kid. So you're like you try to hold like a tower or like a towel over the modem or whatever, so that the grandparents don't or parents don't hear the sounds. Yeah.
I actually didn't do that because my parents didn't care.
Oh.
Oh man, I tried to like even turn the TV on. My parents were such light sleepers.
Dude, I remember watching like Fresh Prince on like volume 2.
Yeah, or you'd have to like
like
there was no way to turn the volume down before you turn the TV on.
right.
You know what I mean? So you had to like pray that it was like on a commercial or something that wasn't super loud, and then you could turn it down. You know, if it was one thing if you had a volume with a knob that you could just turn down when you turned it on, but if it was a remote control one or the buttons on there, you couldn't just like turn it off. You had to like.
You're just hoping for the best.
Yeah, exactly. Like pressing it while I'm doing the power button. Yeah. Wow, I'm old. Zach, I think you're up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Gamer Dad here. Gamer Dad 03 asks, if you haven't played it yet, please look it up. But for Multiversus, who would be your main in that game, and what character would you like to see get added? Mine is, I would love to play as Taz, and would like to see them add either Captain Planet or one of the SWAT cats to it. I don't know what a SWAT cat is.
I don't know what SWAT Cat is either.
I don't either.
Is this a Paw Patrol spinoff or something?
I don't know. Multiverse, is this... What are the rules for like where do these characters have to come from like WB stuff?
Warner Brothers.
I guess I don't like really know.
Yeah, I'm kind of clueless right now.
If you look at the roster, it's such a random dystopian amalgamation of properties.
Yeah,
it's just like Arya Stark baked children into pies, but I guess she's gonna hang out with Taz.
Well, that was gonna be my take is Arya Stark, like because it's the only opportunity you'll ever get to be Arya Stark in anything. Probably.
That's very true. Yeah.
Of the children.
Remember Walder Frey?
I do, but I don't remember if she actually.
Game of Thrones spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it and is hoping to.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't remember it was children. I thought it was just like people. I didn't think it was.
That's what she said. She cooked his sons right into it. Or something like that.
Oh, sons, but not necessarily.
Not his daughters. Not his daughters that he banged.
Right.
But yes, no, his children.
Yeah.
Okay, his children. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were just
right.
I thought you were saying like, kids. Like, I got you now.
Okay, you thought she was slitting the throats of children?
Yes, that's what I thought. So, but yeah, Arya Stark would be my pick.
Okay. Morbid. I have played some Multiverses. My main so far has been Harley Quinn mostly.
Shocker.
Yeah. No surprise there. She's got a good upward attack where she like use her hammer to try to like knock people against the walls.
Yeah,
which is good.
How about you, Alyssa? What would you like to play as?
I'd probably play as either Harley or Arya.
Yeah.
I don't know the full roster. I didn't prepare ahead of time for this question. So.
Could I add
It's got If
we had to add one, can I add the Animaniacs or like one of the Animaniacs? That's WB, right? That's Warner.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, they could be like the Ice Climbers almost.
Yeah, like all three of them together.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be my pick.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
I think there's Rick and Morty. They're coming out soon, and LeBron James just got added.
Yeah, but it's so random.
It's a whole mess of characters.
I mean, that makes sense because he's the new Space Jam, right?
Oh yeah.
It's his version of it's that version of him, the Space Jam version, I guess. But I can read you a list of the leaked characters coming.
Oh, there's leaked characters coming? I did not know that. I've just got the actual official list.
from data mining people. Like we got Marvin the Martian, Joker, Raven, Legolas, Harry Potter, Fred Flintstone, Johnny Bravo, Mad Max.
Wow.
Godzilla and King Kong, Neo. That's depressing.
Neo as in like the Matrix?
The Matrix?
Yeah, but the Wachowskis and Keanu don't want that. They once asked Keanu how he would feel about a Neo in Mortal Kombat. He's like, that would really bum me out. That's really just not what the movies or that character is about.
Right.
So it's nice to see them spitting in his face there. Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Yeah, there's quite a bit of characters coming. Although I will say, no Green Lantern, of course. God forbid.
How dare they?
Huh.
Daenerys Targaryen, apparently. I don't know what she can do. She could be like the Pokemon trainer.
Where are my dragons?
Yeah, he's a Dothraki.
Dracarys.
Yes.
You know that's going to happen. There's no way
Definitely.
she's not going to say Dracarys.
Of course. But to add Gamer Dad's other question, character I would want to see would be a Green Lantern. It just seems like an easy way to make money as well, because you could just put in one character, then pay for each skin. It just seems...
Has there been a
Easy
good Green
money.
Lantern game? I feel like I don't know if I've asked you that before.
No, there's only been one. It was a tie-in to the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Oh, so it was no good.
It was okay. It is all right. It was better than the movie.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it better than the movie?
Yeah. It's like the X-Men Origins Wolverine. It's better than the game, or better than the movie.
I've heard so many good things about that game. I never played it. I should go back.
That's
Say that
insanity.
every week. Next question comes from David Newman, who says, you can't buy any more games. How long do you think it would take you to finish everything once in your game library? David, 9,000 hours for me. I'm exaggerating. It would, to finish every game that's in my library, there are so many games in my library that I've never even booted up. 3,000 hours. If I had to do a rough estimate. I'm very bad
Yes.
about picking up games that I never finish.
Well, yeah, they're on sale, man. What are you going to do? Not buy it?
Right. I mean, I guess, does it count as a backlog game if it's a Game Pass game? Like, I have access to it.
No, I don't know. I feel like that defeats the
wouldn't
spirit
say.
of his question.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 3,000, probably maybe even higher than 3,000 hours.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, with my current work schedule and everything, I don't know, man, years. Probably actual years.
Yeah?
I don't know how many hours that would equate to,
Yeah.
but yeah, it would definitely take a while, and yet, yeah, that's why I'm not too concerned about the lack of new releases. You know, I can play. Well, I guess I'm replaying a game with Mass Effect, but
Right.
yeah, who knows?
Is that kind of good going back and replaying a game too? Like you did that with Mass Effect, I did it with Ocarina of Time.
Especially when it's better than your memory. I feel like
Yeah.
it's so rare.
Well, I mean, if you went back and played the actual Xbox or you were playing on PlayStation 3 disc, it probably wouldn't be as good as your experience is now, right?
Maybe, I don't know, Mass Effect 2 might be similar, but yeah, Mass Effect 1 certainly was improved by the Legendary Edition.
Yeah. How about you, Alyssa? How long to get caught up on your backlog?
Probably years. I don't know about hours, but I have so many other hobbies that
Yeah.
trying
that's a
to
good
juggle
point.
everything, it would take me years to finish everything I want to do. So, yeah, it would take a long time.
Right, yeah, I wish I got to be a kid again where I just had the one hobby.
Oh,
It was
man,
just all
could
about
you-
games all the time.
Could
Even
you
as a
imagine-
kid, I had multiple hobbies. I don't know why I did this to myself.
Well, the thing was I don't know how it was with you guys. When I was a kid, all I wanted to do was play games, but I was told to do other things. Like, stop playing video games.
Right.
I was encouraged to play video. I had to read, which I love reading. That was one thing my mom was like, you gotta read.
I love to read
But-
too.
Otherwise, my parents and my uncle encouraged me to play games, watch movies, watch TV shows. And I still do all that to this day, but I added anime and manga to it and doing other things, content creation, writing. There's so much.
Let's see. Alyssa, you're up with the next question.
I believe we skipped a question, so
Did we?
from
Let's go
Caramel
back to-
Bear,
Oh, sorry.
they write, snack-related question. It's Friday night. You've got friends coming over, and each of you are allowed to bring frozen-only foods to have during your gaming session. Which frozen pizza brand and topping would you get? You have to get pizza. And what other frozen foods would you bring? Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
Roma frozen pizza. I love Roma frozen pizza, even though they're only like $2.50 each or whatever, and everyone tells me they taste like cardboard. That is what
I've never
that's
had
frozen-
one.
That's what we grew up with. Yeah, I think you probably hate it if you ate it when you're 30, but when you grew up eating them, they're great.
I don't know, man. I'm 42 and I still love Jack's Pizza. It's like you said, $2.50 a piece. Jack's
Yeah.
Pizza is my go-to. I don't know if those are similar or not, but yeah.
sure
Pepperoni
they are.
and sausage.
Oh, I like the 4-cheese blend. You know,
Alyssa?
so that's mine.
I don't really get frozen pizzas that often. I'd probably choose...
I'm sorry.
No. I usually get delivery pizza. That's why.
Yeah.
She bougie.
Yeah.
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Dude, DiGiorno sucks.
I don't
man.
like DiGiorno either.
Yeah, I don't
Dude,
either.
it's so bad.
I know.
My dad growing up, he loved DiGiorno. He treated it like it was a treat. He treated it like it was the commercial. It's like, oh my god,
My
can't believe
granny
DiGiorno.
loved DiGiorno, but she always called it DiGiornios.
DiGiorno.
That's hilarious.
That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Please,
DiGiornios.
that would keep her memory alive.
Oh, that's amazing.
The only way DiGiornios is good is because they do the frozen stuffed crust ones, and nobody else has a frozen stuffed crust pizza.
That's a good point. That is
Yeah.
good. As for the other snacks, for me, I love chicken nuggets. I don't care if it makes me sound like I'm 9. Banquet chicken nuggets. If you get
Banquet.
I remember I saw your tweet about banquet stuff.
Dude, I tweeted about Banquet the other day because it's just, how did I survive on this stuff, man? Like, I look at Banquet in the grocery store, and I'm like, this doesn't even feel. I feel like my parents should have been called, like DCFS should have been called my parents that I had to eat this stuff.
Banquet is like
so
one of
bad.
the better. Isn't that a better brand than like Great Value?
I really like their banquet. I forget what they're called. Power bowls, something like that.
I was gonna say like their TV dinners were trash, but
That's what I ate,
the TV dinners aren't good. But
no, I'm talking about like actually like a bag of frozen chicken nuggets.
I've never had it. I think I have PTSD for Banquet.
Yeah.
Because, like, dude, I remember being a kid, I love that stuff, and then I ate like one as an adult, and I was like, ugh, what is happening? How did I eat this? They're like frozen lasagna. That's not even lasagna shaped at all. But I was like, oh, when I was a kid, I was like, this is the stuff.
Dude, I still get those frozen ones for lunch, like the Salisbury steak. I like those.
Banquet, though?
I don't know Banquet. I usually get like whatever, like the healthy choice or whatever. Like not Banquet.
Like Lean Choice? I think that's okay. That's all right.
Lean
That's better than
Cuisine.
Banquet.
I do get
Banquet
Lean Cuisine a lot.
We're in an inflation, and Banquet is still only like $2 a box. That's,
Right.
They went up.
Not okay. That's
Because
good
I
to
get
hear.
banquet power bowls every week, and they used to be $2 and something. Now they're $3 something.
Oh, you know what's really good are the pot pies. Not the cheap little like 47-cent ones.
The Marie
absolutely
Callender's
not.
ones.
Those are
Yeah.
so good, man.
Pot pies can go to absolute hell.
Really?
Dude, I have a tremendous. Oh man. Okay, so when I first met my dad, I met my dad later in life, and he was adamant to try to break me of what he thought was, what's a picky eating.
Yeah.
And he made me
I
a
had that too.
freaking frozen pot pie. It was just awful. It was so bad. I was just staring at it. I was like, I'm not gonna eat this. This looks vile. So then he calls. I just met this man months ago, maybe a year ago, and he calls over this uncle who I've met maybe twice. He's like, because he's this big guy, and he's supposed to like, tough guy talk me into eating this freaking pot pie. And then this man like slowly tries to shove my face into this pot pie. So no, pot pies can go to absolute hell.
What the? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I got
Zach.
pot pie trauma.
Man, I'm gonna hopefully Banquet doesn't make pot pies because that.
I don't think they do.
I'm gonna break down to the store. I see his pot pie. I just start crying.
No, Zach, I'm sorry.
That sucks, man.
Oh man,
If I
I'd
could,
see,
have
this is
trauma
what-
too if someone did that to me.
it's terrible.
I would maybe throw in their hot pockets. I know there's like bad rap on hot pockets,
yeah.
but the pepperoni
good.
pizza ones,
Those are
liked
good.
a lot. I had those for lunch every day when I was a kid. In my
The
senior
ones
year.
with the
nibble
garlic crust,
Yeah.
the butter garlic crust,
yeah.
they are so good.
They're hard to
Mhm.
cook properly because
Yeah.
you always wind up with that frozen spot in the middle, no matter how hard you try not to.
Oh no, you just gotta nuke the hell out of it, and then you gotta like bite the corner off and try to let the heat out.
Yep.
Yeah.
The ham and cheese ones were good too. I like the ham and cheese ones too, but the pepperoni were my favorites. So
I was always they had like pretzel crust ones that was like roasted turkey and cheddar or something like that.
yeah.
Those were
yeah,
great.
those were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love those.
All right. Anybody have
Yeah,
anything
they
to
should-
add? Frozen snacks? Gotta be frozen according to Caramel Bear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a sucker for an ice cream sandwich, but I wouldn't be bringing that to a friend. That's for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing those.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Drumsticks.
That's real.
Oh, those are so good. I wouldn't
Choco
be sharing
tacos,
those.
which are not happening anymore. Did you hear that?
I know
Yeah,
they
RIP.
discontinued those.
Yeah.
That was my mom's favorite, man. She used to buy those things by the box, but I guess she wasn't enough to keep the Choco Taco.
Well,
afloat.
I was gonna say I can't complain. I can't remember the last time I bought a Choco Taco, so it's not like I'm part of the problem. But I don't know. It's like a thing that was like always been there since I was a kid, and
I know.
Dude, I'm legitimately worried for my mom. Every time I ever visit her, she's got a box of Choco Tacos. Like
no.
It's just such a staple. She probably eats a Choco Taco a day.
start around.
Now they're gone. It's depressing.
There's gonna be a TikTok of like how to make your own homemade Choco Tacos, and it's gonna blow
Right.
up.
Well, and then they're going to do that thing where like they're convinced the internet, like, 2 years, 3 years from
Yep.
now, they'll be like, we got to bring it back. People want it.
Yeah.
And they're going to come back.
It's
gonna
Morbid
bomb
time.
hard. Yes. Very Morbius.
It's Choco time.
It'll be like the Mexican pizzas from Taco Bell.
Yes.
Yep.
Or I was going to say Mexican pizza. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. Anyway, Drew Ross, though, asks, what are your top 5 bucket lists? It's a big question.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Who wants to
Top
start?
5 bucket list games or just things on?
I took it as any bucket list item, not necessarily
that
gaming
is
related.
heavy.
I guess, bucket list game would just be Panzer Dragoon Saga. For God's sake, let me play it.
I don't know if I could come up with 5 is the problem. I don't really like contemplate it. I know I'm old, but I'm not like
You're
bucket
not
list
morbid yet?
old yet. So
Yeah.
I think one thing that I would want to do before I die, as much as it terrifies me, is I would like to say that I went skydiving. I would like to do that.
Suit together, man. I want to go skydiving.
I'll go skydiving with you
scares
guys.
the crap out of me.
Let's do it, guy. We can get Gaming Outsider, like they have the Hollywood Outsider cruise. We have the Gaming Outsider skydiving.
There's like
trip.
19 of us that just all go skydiving together at the same time.
Sounds awesome.
I was gonna say we should all get matching tattoos, but I don't know if Scott wants a tattoo.
I wouldn't be the one against it.
Yeah, that makes sense. What if can we get tattoos in the air as we're falling? Do you think that'd be all right?
No, I saw Jackass, and I saw how that worked out for Steve-O.
Did they do that?
Yeah, they put not skydiving, but they put him in like a dune buggy and took him across a course. Like,
no,
and then
really?
they had a dude give him a tattoo
That would be good.
while he was in the dune buggy, and
That's
it ended poorly.
awesome.
You need to go look up the YouTube video. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's
Because it was
great.
one
Yeah,
of
let's
those dune buggies, and they were going over massive bumps, just. And he actually still has the tattoo of this thing. Was it Steve-O? I assume that sounds like a
I don't
Steve-O
know.
thing.
That sounds so because he has a tattoo of himself on his back, right, from his son. So I think the Steve-O's probably the guy.
That's really
Oh,
funny.
Boy.
Also,
Yeah.
actually, I'm going to be crossing something off my bucket list next summer. We're going to Australia. Always wanted to visit Australia, so we're going to next summer,
Okay.
apparently.
You gonna visit a friend
awesome.
of the site, Snug Boy?
I would like to. Do you know, is
Yeah.
he in Sydney, or do you know where he is?
I can't remember where he was. We talked to him. He told us where he was in the podcast. But
I know, and I feel like that's like just where we assume every person from Australia lives is Sydney.
Right, it's gotta be
because we're dumb
Sydney or
Americans.
Melbourne. Right. Yes, we are. There's no question.
Do you guys have any bucket list items?
I definitely want to visit Japan at least once in my life. I hate flying, but I would do it for Japan.
I would like to visit
Yes.
Japan too, especially like what's the really like peaceful, serene one?
Peaceful, serene city.
Yeah, it's like old school Japan where it's not like the super big cities, and they got the pink. Is it Shoto?
Sure.
I can't remember what it's called.
Kyoto?
I don't know.
Doesn't
That's an
sound right.
island, right?
Nah, I don't think it'd be Kyoto.
Anyway, I remember when I was a kid, I really wanted to visit there. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, Japan's on my bucket list as well.
hmm
I want to like take a train from Tokyo to Osaka and then like stop at little towns along the way.
Let's go together, Zach.
Are you sure you don't like cruises?
Absolutely.
I'm afraid I
Cruises?
get seasick.
Yeah.
You take a cruise to Japan?
No. I'm just saying, like, you like the idea of going and stopping at all these places. That's what you do on a cruise.
Oh. First of all, I didn't know that about cruises. But then also, you're in the sun the whole time. You probably
Not
gotta-
necessarily.
Yeah,
My friend,
Also,
one
when
of my friends on my cruise sat in the shade and read a book the entire time.
that sounds nice.
But if you do come with me, Zach, you have to be my emotional support person on the plane because I have panic attacks while flying.
All right, deal.
If I fly by myself, everyone just stares at me. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Let's go to Japan and have a crazy time. You know,
We do for our go trip. We just all meet up in Japan.
it's all right.
Yeah.
That's
You know what?
cool.
I do have another.
No, can we? It'll be like a in a movie, a bro trip, right? Like no significant others, guys. Let's just go as us. That sounds ideal.
Bro and lady
That's
I don't know
trip.
if I could get away with that.
Right. Let's say Christina could come as well. Obviously,
Oh,
so
yeah.
let's say it wouldn't have to be the only girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, Let's do it. Yeah, bro and ladies.
I would
It's gonna be
also like to be able to travel in a submarine before I die. When I was a kid,
Okay, there you go.
I was obsessed with submarines.
Now that's thinking in a bucket list sort of a way.
Mm-hmm. Because like I loved the Hunt for October when I was a kid. Always wanted to maybe like, but not just like go visit the inside of one while it's docked. Like I want to actually like, go significantly deep.
You want to go on a ride along with the Navy or
Yeah.
something? Yeah,
That would be a lot of fun. Meet Miyamoto would probably be does that count as a bucket list item?
of course. Yeah, my bucket list would definitely be meet Yoko Taro and meet Jeff Johns.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I've got just a couple basic ones. Like, eventually, I'd like to be a mom and a wife.
There you go.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but
Someone's got to pop the queue, huh?
I was just saying, no pressure.
Otherwise, I mean, I would like to have a career one day.
There you go.
I have very basic things for my bucket list. That's the Japan one.
See,
basic.
I definitely have career aspirations, but I refuse to put them on the bucket list because then it doesn't sound as inevitable.
Right.
So I like to view my career aspirations as an inevitability, not a possibility.
I keep thinking of other ones too. Like, I would like to be able to say that I, went across the Atlantic by boat. Like
a rowboat?
No, not like actually like powered by me. Like, I mean, part of me wants to be able to say I did it like in a large boat that's powered by wind. You know what I mean? Like that like how we would have discovered America. You know what I mean? Like how they had to travel back. It just blows my mind that how long it takes us to do that when we have fuel powered boats, massive boats that are powered, and they just used to do it by the wind. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be kind of cool to be able to say you did that. So, I don't know.
Meet an alien life form.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. I believe I am up, correct?
Probably.
Yes.
I feel like we really went off the rails there.
Oh, yeah, totally. But it's okay. You like the ones that are sometimes not video game related.
Oh, definitely, of course.
Last one on Discord comes from Paul Hine. He says, what are some of your favorite family video game memories? Playing with your mom, dad, uncle, aunt, cousin? I have a lot growing up. One of my favorite is when I was about 10 or 11. We didn't have any consoles at the time, but there was a place a couple blocks down from us that rented Genesis and SNES systems along with games for a reasonable price. If we were having a good weekend, the folks would let us rent a system and one game. My brother and I would play the crap out of a game for 48 hours, not straight though, but as much as able to. Man, I remember I rented a Nintendo 64 for $25 and Mario 64 for like a weekend. I was in heaven. Yeah. Could you imagine renting a console for $25 nowadays? There's no way.
I know.
Oh man. God, I miss rental stores.
Yeah. Me too. I miss even Redbox. Remember when you could rent games at Redbox?
Well, that was useful too, but I like the looking at the shelves and something jumping out on you thing. And I understand that there is a version of that on streaming sites, but it just doesn't feel the same.
In some of those rental stores had a specific smell to them too.
They did.
They just smelled like rental stores. I don't know what it was.
And I love they always had that one wall that was like Steve's picks. You're like, I don't know who Steve is, but man, this is some good taste. Yep.
And they also had the adult section that was like,
right, of course,
quote unquote hidden, like it was real hard to find.
All the video stores here did not have adult sections because that's actually not allowed in the state of Alabama.
Oh, really? At all?
Well, yes, can't.
There are some.
You live in South Korea?
There are a couple of stores in some of the major cities that are allowed to have that, but most cities have banned that kind of stuff, so you can't even sell that.
It's probably there, unless you just couldn't see it because it was pixelated.
Jesus. What is the point of banning? I don't understand, because the internet exists. What is the point of banning these things in stores?
I don't know. Alabama's just weird.
Yeah, that's really strange.
It is strange. So back to his actual question here.
Okay.
Favorite video game memories? Alyssa, let's start with you.
I mean, every Saturday during the school year and during the summer, but then also every day during the summer, during the work week, I would go to my uncle's and we'd pretty much play video games all day long together. Take occasional breaks to go swing on the porch swing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we go and play video games, and that was always just a really fond memory for me. And then me and my mom loved playing Tomb Raider, so we played through all those over and over again. But she had me read the strategy guide to her every single time. And she also loves Pac-Man, and we had the Namco Museum. I forget which. It might have just been number 1. I know they made several, but it was for PS1.
Mm-hmm.
And we would play Pac-Man together, and was it Galaga they had on there? I think it was Galaga. We play those two together.
Dig Dug
So
probably was on there as well.
yeah, Mom only liked Pac-Man and Galaga.
Nice.
Was
so
this a
that's
game?
all we play.
This is a game that was like you walk around in a Namco museum and you like walk up to different exhibits, and that's how you play the games and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
That was fun. That was good. Big fan of that.
Yeah, that's cool. How about you, Zach? I know you shared some memories of playing with your brothers in the past.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to one because I have my brothers. I mean, they were only there every other weekend generally, but I played a lot with them, or playing Sonic Adventure 2 with my sister. Did that a lot, I guess. I guess I don't really have one super specific. I mean, I played a lot of Diablo 2 with my cousin. That was super fun back in the day. And he was like a year older, so it felt super cool. Hang out with all his year older friends.
1 whole year.
But yeah, I know. Well, it feels significant, in like elementary and middle school.
Right.
I don't know. That stuff's got that, or playing with my grandpa growing up, as he guided you through the classics, as I've said many times. So yeah, or you know what? I don't know, mom, dad. Yeah, I guess the coolest one was when my father realized that video games were cool again, because he used to play when he was younger, and then just by happenstance, because I was like because I got my 360, I didn't have the wireless router yet, so he let me play it in the living room. Just while I was downloading demos, and then while I was killing time waiting for the Lost Planet demo to download, I was playing Gears of War online, and just like that moment of like, wait, games look like this now? Was really funny. He's like, let me play, and then like loving it, and then we go out and buy a second controller right away. So then we're playing Gears of War 2 online, because you used to be able to do that, go take split screen online, and then and then there were just weeks where you would keep me up, till 3 a.m. on a school night so we could play Gears of War. Yeah. And then we played online together for like years. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think that's probably where we interacted. I think that's where I had met you prior to Gears, but I didn't really get to know you until Gears 2. I think it was Gears 2, wasn't it? Yeah, Gears 2 was definitely the explosion. Yeah, right. We definitely all played a lot of Gears. Yeah, but Gears 2 was definitely the heyday of Got Room. Yep. So but yeah, there are people. Yeah. Kabashi or Brian Williams or whatever. There are legitimate friendships made on Gears of War that last through to this day. I podcasted with Brian for 5 years? So isn't that insane? And you met him via Gears of War? Yeah. We used to play with, remember Bomb? Yeah, of course. Bomb 69, and then he had a daughter, and she would hop on and play, and it was Mini Bomb. Yes. Good times. That was, the good old days. Yeah. I miss that. And I think every time we bring that up, we're kind of like, we should do that again, and then we never do. No, of course. Just never do. Well, because you want to, but it's never going to feel the same. It's never going to feel it's never going to feel like Got Room. Yeah. Because you would just enter a party chat while you're just waiting for a slot to open. You would just hang out and play a different game and talk and stuff. It was just, it was a different era. And we don't do that anymore. Now it's like, I'll be on about 8:30. Yeah. Anybody available? If not, I'll just play by myself. But hit me up. So anyway, for me, I've talked about so many memories, but the one that stands out to me, my stepdad and I, we didn't not get along, but we were definitely carved from a different cloth. He liked to fix cars and hunt, and I like to play video games and read fantasy novels. So we didn't we didn't have a lot of interests, but he and I, for whatever reason, both landed on GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 and played through that game several times together. Actually tried to play through it on 00 Agent difficulty level, which I don't know if you guys have ever done that. That game is stupid hard on the hardest level of difficulty because they have infinitely spawning enemies.
I don't even understand how that game can be beat, but there was one memory in particular. Do you remember the pinball game on Nintendo? Just like it was just called Pinball. It had like Mario in the cover holding a scaffolding over his head and the pinball bouncing off of it.
I'll just say yes.
Okay. You probably don't remember it, but we were playing that game. I feel like I've told this story before, so I apologize if I have. But we were playing it, and I was down to my last ball, and he was just beating me by like an ungodly amount of points. Like it was hopeless. And he said, if you can beat my score, I'll give you $20. And I beat his score. So that was
yeah.
And it was seriously like, at the time, it felt like an hour and a half. It was probably about 25 minutes. But I remember just like sweating bullets, like, I am going to do this thing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I did it. So I won $20 off my stepdad. And I actually brought it up to him recently. I was like, do you remember that story? And he actually did. And he actually got emotional remembering it, and that the fact that I remembered it. So that was a pretty cool moment.
Now you got to challenge him to a rematch and let him beat you, and then you give him $20 back.
See, the problem is I don't think he could see the screen, so his eyesight is really poor. So like when we watch movies, I'm not making fun of him, but when we watch movies, he can't. If a character speaks another language and they have to subtitle it, I literally have to read the subtitles out loud so that he can know what the characters are saying. Otherwise, he'd be completely lost. So I think the possibility of him following a tiny little pixelated silver pinball on a screen is going to be slim to none, but
which will make him feel all the better when he beats you.
That's true. You know what? When he came up here a few years ago, and he fell in love with Peggle. He loved Peggle.
Oh, sure.
So we played Peggle a lot. That was an adult video game memory with my stepdad. The other one was my brother, who didn't play as much as I did, but he played. But we used to play Twisted Metal 2 all the time when we were kids. At Christmas, my mom would always do try to get you super anticipated for what was under the Christmas tree. You're not allowed to come downstairs until mom says it's okay. You know what I mean? And the year Twisted Metal 2 came out, we just sat and played Twisted Metal 2. And she tried to do the whole, like, trying to get us all excited and amped up. Oh, are you excited? Just tell us when we can come down. We're playing Twisted Metal 2. So that was a good memory. Alyssa, we got 2 more on Twitter. Why don't you take the next one?
Chris Adams at SilentGamer242 writes, what is that game or games that you play when you just need to check out?
I think you guys know my answer to that already.
Pinball.
However, I will say that recently I've been getting back into Carcassonne, which is a board game turned video game.
Oh, yeah.
On Xbox 360. I've been playing that quite a bit. That is a great game.
With somebody or by yourself?
No, I play with Joel. I play with I taught CJ how to play it. I used to play with Chad back in the day, like in the summer. We'd stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning playing Carcassonne and just talking. It's a great game because there's literally nothing you can do while you're waiting for your other player to take a turn. So it just becomes something to do while you're having conversations, and it's really good. I would love to play some Carcassonne with you guys if you ever are one. It works on Xbox Series X.
I'm 100% down. I love Carcassonne to death, but the problem is you cannot play alone because playing a CAI is garbage.
Yeah.
Straight up garbage.
I've got
and it's maybe the only board game that is improved by not playing it physically.
Oh, seriously, because cleanup and scoring is just infinitely easier.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah. It does all the math. It's a lot of math at the end of a Carcassonne match.
It is. It's a lot to keep track of, but once you know how to play the game, it's not. You understand it's legit what they're doing. Like, even though it goes very, very quickly, the scoring goes quickly, it's still like, oh, yeah, I see what's going on there. So.
Well, yeah, there's anticipation. Oh, man. Good stuff.
I've got like 2 achievements left in that game because you remember those old Xbox Live Arcade games only had 200 achievement points. So at this point, it's not even like because they want the achievement points. They just want to like get it all. Get like all the achievement points you can for that one game. And one of them is to score like 5,000 points over like your career of Carcassonne. And I have no idea. It's not like you have a progress. I have no idea how close I am to popping that achievement, but I got to be getting close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I still play it pretty consistently. And then the other achievement is like something like to win a number of online matches, which I could just boost with somebody if I really wanted to. But or I think it's ranked matches. Which, like, who's online playing Carcassonne that I could do a ranked match with? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I played a lot of my aunt played a lot of Carcassonne, which is funny. Aunt and uncle, which is funny because my aunt hates video games and would swear that Carcassonne didn't count even though she had a controller in her hand. But we used to play online. It was fun.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Alyssa, what about you? What do you play to check out?
Well, it was House Flipper, but I actually rolled credits on that.
Did you really?
Yeah, I flipped every single house you could flip in that game. And did
Holy
every
cow.
single job. So I'm completely finished with that. So I feel like the next game that's going to come up is Power Wash Simulator.
Oh,
But I'm scared to start because I know if I get hooked on it, that's all I'm going to want to play.
no, seriously, play it. It's really good.
I'll play it after I play Stray because I don't want anything to take away from Stray. But yeah, I was stuck on House Flipper. Like, I was playing it every day for 2 weeks or so.
I think you will like Power Wash Simulator. Yeah, you should do
I think I will too.
it. Zach, Arkham City.
Yeah, because I used to, I don't know, I kicked the habit when I moved to Portland and haven't gotten it back where I would play that to check out. So I really don't kind of have one right now. It was Fortnite for a little bit, but something about it changed over the battle pass or whatever. And I don't know if it's just because the characters suck or what, but like I got no interest right now in Fortnite. I don't know. I assume it's just my problem with like live service game. Like, oh, now I have to restart all the way from zero again. I'm all right. I have my fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now I don't have one. For so long it was Titanfall 2 as well, but then just the bots and the hackers have completely taken over, and Respawn's solution was to just not address it at all, which is not very good. So Titanfall 2 is just kind of dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I need one. If anybody, you got good recommendations, or I thought maybe it could be Multiversus because it has like DC characters, but I don't know. There was something about there like, hey, LeBron James or Rick and Morty are coming. And I was like, I don't want to play this game,
Dude. I know I'm already said it this episode, but Vampire Survivors falls into that because
yeah.
like it's a very zen game. It's
Tell you what, why don't you ship me your Steam Deck and I'll check it out.
I can shoot you $4 so you can play on your Mac. How about that?
No, dude,
'Cause
it's not the same, dog.
Do you have a like a Bluetooth controller? Oh, you can use a PS controller on your Mac, can't you?
Oh yeah, I guess I could, right?
I mean, literally, all you need is an analog joystick. That's all that game uses. You don't.
I know. Yeah, no, I'm not opposed to Vampire Survivors. I'm sure I will. Right now, I'm using my free time to try to play through Mass Effect. Gosh darn it!
There you go.
Get off my back. I feel the need to check out. When I need to check out, I'll read a comic. How about that?
There you
That's
go.
kind of what I do.
I got to start those comics I've reading. I picked up now. Too,
Oh yeah,
so.
Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, I'm going to the concert on Saturday, so I would like to get those read before I go to the concert, just to because I've never done that before going to see them. So we'll see how it goes. Well, that is it for the topic. Thank you, everybody.
Don't we have one more question here?
We
we do. I'm sorry.
What is going on with you today, Scott Clark? Rushing to get out of here?
No.
You don't like us anymore?
I like you plenty. Whose turn is
All right.
it?
Well,
I believe it's
Fr-
Zach's.
Zach.
friend of the site, Snugboy at Real Snugboy, asks Game of the Year so far, Winky Face. So it's a little sultry.
I'm kind of torn. My immediate gut reaction is Blast Brigade because I loved that game, but I also really liked Rogue Legacy 2.
Oh yeah, you did like that.
So I'm kind of torn between those two. I think if I had to pick one, I would probably just say Blast Brigade, but man, Rogue Legacy 2 is really good too. So yeah, what about you guys?
Oh, I mean, for me,
Okay.
oh, I was gonna say for me, yeah, I guess it's just Elden Ring, which is, I don't know, like it doesn't.
That does not feel like a Zach answer. That feels like what everybody else's answer is going to be.
I know, well, that's what I'm saying is like it doesn't feel like an interesting answer because it doesn't really like excite me to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it is. But like that last several series of boss fights, it just really tainted it so much. But I haven't played the ride up until then was very good. But also, yeah, I'm sure something I'm confident something else will replace it as the year goes on. It's just I do like that, that form of storytelling. And you're right. It's funny that like, this time last year, answering with a Dark Souls game would be like, oh, the pretentious gamer answer, of course. But now it's like you answer Elden Ring. It's like, what are you, a Call of Duty fan?
Yeah.
Like it's so popular now.
Yeah.
It's just funny how that Discord has changed. Yeah, I mean, Sifu was really great too, but or even that second Voice of Cards game was really great. But yeah, it's just I guess Elden Ring is at the top now. But fingers crossed, Gotham Knights can top it. That would be great for me. That game looks great.
All right, Alyssa, what about you?
Mine is currently Horizon Forbidden West.
Wow,
I just
okay.
love that game.
Wow.
And I would love if they would release story DLC.
And here I thought you loved cats, but I guess not.
Well, I haven't finished Stray yet, so I don't want to put it on the list until I
touche.
finish it.
I do really want to play Stray though.
That is on PC. I was considering picking it up just so I could have something new to play on my Steam Deck. But I feel like that's not going to be a graphically intensive game either. I don't know.
No. I mean, I want to play it because it looks unique.
Yeah.
Which is
it is,
pretty rare.
Mm-hmm. All right, now that's all the comments.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, Snug Boy, we almost snubbed you there, but...
and sorry to Caramel Bear for Scott trying to roll right over you.
Did not mean to. I am scrolling too quickly. You know what it was? It was Gamer Dad and Caramel Bear both have like threes in their names for like
right, they have,
letters.
Leet speak,
Yeah.
yeah. They're old school internet users in that way.
Yeah, so like when putting them right next to each other is a bad idea because I keep scrolling right past that second one. Oh, we already got the one with the 3 in it. I think that was my bad. But next week's topic is still yet to be determined. However, it will be without me. It's going to be Zack, Alyssa, and CB. So if you guys think of a topic you'd like them to discuss, be sure to let us know on the social medias. Or you can call us, by the way. Area code 347-746-2278. Leave us a voicemail and it may get put on the show. And we'd love to hear from you there. But that is going to do it for this episode of the Gaming Outsider. Zack, any parting words or recommendations before we get out of here?
No, not. I mean, I was because of that rehearsal show on HBO that I talked about last time I was on. Led me to rewatching Nathan For You, and man, that show's hilarious.
Nathan For You.
Yeah, it was a little Comedy Central show, a reality show where, they give business consultant ideas, but they're always the most ridiculous ideas possible. If they have there's one episode where horseback riding weight limits are 220 pounds. So he's like, what if you cater to the overweight market by strapping helium balloons to them to lighten their weight? And like each balloon takes 20 pounds off the rider. So this, obese guy is riding this horse because the helium balloons allow. But then you have to worry about tree branches popping the balloons, right? So then he's like, okay, so we hired some paddle holders and they're going to ride alongside him to block branches away from the balloons. It's just this, and the hilarity comes from like these people.
They're doing a deadpan, like they're not breaking character.
Well, Nathan is, yeah, he's never breaking characters, but it's just funny how he gets these people to go along with these ideas, man, because they sound ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess people just want to be on TV so bad that they're like, yeah, let's do it.
I remember seeing like an infomercial that somebody did. They were trying to sell this exercise thing that was literally just a piece of plastic that you would hold behind you and rub on your butt. And
Dude,
and they like
right.
people that you know how they do those like on the street, like trying to sell you whatever product this thing is, and there's somebody videoing, and you can tell these people are just like, oh yeah, this thing's amazing. I can feel it working my glutes. Whatever, and it's just literally a piece of plastic that they're rubbing on their butt. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's another episode where he's trying to get an exercise craze started because he's trying to help a moving company out because his labor costs are so high. So he tries to start an exercise craze of how moving can make you lose weight. So he hires this bodybuilder to say that he got his body via the moving methods. But he actually gets on talk shows and stuff. The bodybuilder, and he's got all these news reports saying, like, can you believe it? He lost all this weight by replicating what you do while you move somebody.
So you got these people to pay to move somebody else.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, man. Oh, it's great.
That's pretty great.
So funny.
Alyssa, what about you?
I've been watching Made in Abyss Season 2. one episode per week, and this season it's hurting my heart. It picks up right.
Season 2 started?
Yeah. But it's only on High Dive, which is a relatively new streaming service, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
It's exclusive to that. But it picks up right where the movie left off. And this season is just... I don't even know... It's dark. There have been several times already where I've been like, oh! From what I've seen. Because the first season really doesn't get that bad until the end. And then the movie is just devastating, and this is devastating. But it's so good, though.
Oh, man. I love Made in Abyss. There's a game coming out in September.
I saw that. I think it's supposed to... Like, there's a campaign that covers the first season of the anime, and then there's a campaign that's an original story, I believe.
Oh, heck yeah. That could be it.
You guys make me want to get into anime and manga.
Well, Made in Abyss is just like a cool set of rules for its world. Yeah, you go further into Abyss, and stuff gets weirder and stranger, but then you can't come back up because it hurts you more the further down you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's good stuff, man. And yeah, it's one of the few animes I'm so into that I'm willing to watch the dub watch the sub, because I don't want to wait for the dub. Because it is that good.
Nice.
I will say Made in Abyss Season 1, I believe it's still on Amazon Prime, but it's only sub. High Dive has the, I guess, exclusive for the dub, because you can watch Season 1 dubbed on High Dive and the movie dubbed. The Season 2 right now, since it's just now airing, is only sub, but I would think it'd be dubbed after the season airs.
Gotcha. As for me, I am still working my way through the first season of Cheers, and I'm liking that for its lighthearted sitcom, which you guys know I'm a fan of. But today, I watched on Netflix. I know this isn't like an obscure reference. It's like the number 2 movie on Netflix right now. But I watched The Gray Man with Ryan
I watched
Gosling
that last night.
and Chris Evans. It is a ridiculous movie in terms of some of the setups that they make for these action sequences are just so over the top ridiculous. It feels like you're watching an 80s movie, but it looks like a movie from today. I mean, like the opening scene, they're literally having a fist fight around a bunch of fireworks that are exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're fighting like right where the fireworks go off. They're just having a fist fight. But this movie is worth it to see Chris Evans play a villain alone. Like just watching, he plays such a hilarious villain in this movie. Like it's almost too ridiculous, but it's really good. I really like him as the bad guy in this movie. This is definitely a check your brain at the door, popcorn kind of action flick. It's just nonstop action, but I quite enjoyed it. What did you think of it, Alyssa?
I enjoyed it too. I thought it was a little too long.
Yeah, it was like 2:09, I think.
Yeah. But, I mean, I had fun with it. Ryan Gosling, great in it. I thought Chris Evans was a good villain, which I feel like the Russo brothers who directed this, and they also directed the last 2 Avengers films, have a thing for Chris Evans' butt, because there's one scene in the movie where he gets shot with a tranquilizer, but it's in his butt.
Yeah. Literally, there's a scene where he says, I got shot in the ass, and my wife goes, yeah, America's ass. Thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, the Russo brothers definitely do like his butt. And Ryan Gosling is a badass, by the way. Like legitimate badass in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he does some stuff.
He's done that a few times in his career.
Yeah. Drive was probably the last one I can think of.
That was a fantastic movie.
It was a weird movie.
Blade Runner.
Didn't see Blade Runner. But...
Blade Runner was great.
Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much to Alyssa. Thank you to Zach for being here. It is great to talk with you guys. Thank you, all of you, for listening. I want to remind you that The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas. All the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemmagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.